Of
So
course.
now we are live. And yeah, welcome to Cubs Corner. And I give directly to Greg, who seems to have his camera on, I guess, for reasons.
Right? Well, great. A very rare glimpse at the actual Oiler Greg. So,
Yeah. It's dark where you are, Greg. Are you in the night, on a night planet, or in another
yes,
dimension, or something like that? Like
I'm a
in
vampire, as you well know, so we stay in the dark.
Yeah, like Stranger Things. You entered a different dimension without telling us.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was a different opening. So, welcome, hello, and welcome to Cubs Corner with Oiler Greg and Cat Claw Entertainment. What some of you might not realize is that Cub is the mayor of a seaside community, and he refuses to close the beach because of the 4th of July, despite several shark attacks. Can we ask Cub, why won't you close the beach, Cub?
I won't close it for the 50th anniversaries of Jaws, of course. I can't. We are celebrating that by keeping it open, the beach.
So that the sharks have a buffet.
Yeah, so that's our celebration of the 50th anniversary from Jaws.
This is our 4th of July special. We delayed an extra week because of Oiler X and just because we had to do it on the 4th of July. So here we are. Hopefully everybody's got something cool to drink. I know y'all been having some heat issues there.
And Greg, by the way, thanks to this delay, I had to delay my German stream also, and on last Friday. But because I delayed it, my German host here, co-host, had no time, and now I had to delay it again to tomorrow. By the way, so
I thought you were going to say he got attacked by a shark.
No, he went to the Sex Pistols concert on Friday, so I had to delay it again for Monday for tomorrow.
That must be so irritating for you.
Yeah, it really sucks, right?
But now you have something to look forward to, Cub. You would have already used it up, and you'd be sitting there bitter and sad. And now you can be bitter and sad and still
we have ferry weekend this weekend. In this second, outside of my house is a ferry, or what you call it here, like an amusement park once a year.
Oh, a fair?
Yeah, a fair. It's this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Exactly this weekend. So in this second,
they have circuses, carnivals, fairs. It just depends. Yeah. You know, it's probably a weird mishmash. Knowing the Germans.
Yeah, it's exactly in this moment, and it's exactly outside of the door from my home. By the way.
Oh, that's cool. Is that every year?
Yeah, that is.
Yes, every year. So it's really it's exactly the right weekend you've chosen.
Well, that's awesome.
So, yeah, I can't go there because it's from yesterday till Monday, and on Sunday and tomorrow I have to stream. So yeah,
perfect. Okay, so I guess we should get on with the show since Kat has limited battery life on her phone, and hopefully she's not going to drop out on us, but you never know when your phone.
Yeah, but also she has 7 lives anyway. So
right.
Probably she has to use up the second one.
I thought she had 9. Did you take 2 of her lives, Cub?
Yes, you're right. Oh, so yeah, if she have 9 anyway, so who cares?
Right.
Who cares about the stupid batteries? So, okay, Greg, I would say we just start. Or what do you say? Greg? Cat? Anyone out there?
I'm here.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yes. Now we can.
Okay. Yes. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, yeah, that's. I was trying to start the show. I guess my audio cut out. Gonna be a bitchy show.
Yeah, maybe it does. It doesn't work in the dark dimension you are in.
That's right. That's right.
You got that right.
Nothing works in this dimension. We're all in the wrong dimension. I can agree with that.
Yes, but Greg, I'm wondering when you had your camera on, it was really so dark you couldn't see anything. Is it dark
Awesome.
where you are, or I don't understand? Is it night time in the US this moment?
No.
No, it's really stormy though. We've had a lot of storms here.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I
extra
thought
dark. We had a terrible tragedy with the flooding in the hill country. I don't even want to get into it. That was on the 4th of July.
I heard about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
when you said terrible tragedy, I thought the Democrats have took over Texas or something. Like
No.
and
It's a different type of
that's
tragedy.
why you are now in a dark place or something like that.
Yeah, it's been raining here forever. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. We still haven't got to the first deal. Okay, so to begin the show, our first item on the list is a special documentary that's of great interest to Cub, but I wasn't able to see. I don't know if Kat could. It's called No Other Land. It's about the Palestinian occupation, and that's about all I know. It kept starting and then cutting off on me. I must have tried 30 times to watch this thing. It was so irritating. Then I looked on every site, and for some reason you can't find it. Anyway, did anybody else? Did you get to see it, Kat?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I even sent her the extra link that somebody provided to us, and it didn't work. It was worse.
You mean somebody anonymous provided to you?
Yeah, I think it was Cub X. But...
Yeah. So there is not much to talk about here. It's the documentary that won this year the Oscars. It's from last year. It is about a 3 years time span during the occupation in Palestine from 1919, I think, to 1923, 4 years or something like that.
2019 to 2023, you mean?
Yes, and it shows it shows how a family in the West Jordan, in the West Bank, or West Jordan land, has to move from her property because the military occupied this site for their military exercises. And they have to move into caves.
Oh.
And so they have to live there and watch how the military destroying their homes and their land. And a friend of them who is a Jew is also makes also documentaries, and he is documenting that because he wanted to go to court and to get the rights for the Palestinians, his friends. But of course, they didn't get. They just moved on with destroying their property, and so he has documented that to show the world what is going on there.
Well, the Israelis have a policy of destroying homes and stuff if they got something against anybody who lived there. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but the thing is, it shows.
So they go through and just destroy whole neighborhoods and.
Yeah. But the thing is, it shows you how the apartheid system works there, because in the documentary you can see that there are streets where you aren't allowed to move when you are Palestinian, and you see that with your car. For example, you get a plate, a yellow plate or something like that, and if you don't have that, if you aren't Jewish, you are not allowed to use these streets or to go anywhere, to drive anywhere, and things like that. It shows you the kind of the common life there, but this was all before the war that we are seeing now in the last 2 years. So every awful things you see there, and people get shot and murdered live on camera, by the way, and everything you see there, it's 1,000 times worse now since this war that they started here.
So this thing was taped before the recent
yes,
hostility.
this thing, yes, it's
or increase in hostilities.
It's like a horror movie when you watch it, but it's not even close to what is happening right now. This is horrible. Before. This is all before. So people had to leave their land for no reason, by the way. Just leave their land and had to move into caves and live in caves.
Damn.
Yeah. Families,
that's
little
horrible.
children. Yeah, it's horrible, and this documentary won the Oscars, and it's not distributed in the US because every distribution company in the US, every media company, everything in the US is controlled by the Zionists. You know that, it's no secret.
Right.
And every media, and so of course no distribution company dared to distribute it. It's the Oscar winner, by the way.
I checked on that, and Cub is correct about the distribution of the documentary, and even the places like Apple TV that had it on took it down.
Yeah, so tell me.
Well, that's how they keep their propaganda going,
Right? They don't want to have the other side presented. I think both sides should be presented especially on an issue.
I do too.
Yeah, and Greg, the thing is, this is an Oscar-winning movie. So if an Oscar-winning movie is able to be that people at least are able to see it.
So is this classified as a documentary or like a movie?
Yeah, no, it's a documentary.
Okay, I just wanted that to be clear for people who are listening.
Yeah, it won in the category documentaries.
That's what I thought.
Oscar winner in this category. And it could have even been made if it's not from a Jewish person who made it, because Palestinians are not allowed to do. There are no Palestinian filmmakers or stars or musicians or anything, because every media on this planet is owned by the Zionists, and so as a Palestinian, you are not allowed to have a career on this planet. By the way, just wanted to remind people. So we need, for example, Jewish people to help us, because we Palestinians, are not able to do shit. It's really like the apartheid system in South Africa, but of course much worse. Because the black people in South Africa couldn't make a career, but at least they could make it in the rest of the planet, in America or somewhere. But in the case of the Palestinians, that is not possible for us.
Well, it's kind of a hopeful sign that it was a Jewish guy who helped you by making the film to show your position.
Yes, and he was protected by his family, because it seems to be a wealthy family where he comes from, and that's the only reason why he didn't got shot during his work.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible, but it's also depressing, and I don't want to depress people more than
you normally
necessary.
Do.
Yeah. So the reason
we have our normal necessary level of depression.
Yeah, the reason I took it.
Greg.
We got a terrible tragedy here, and I'm making jokes, but I'm making. We also have our tragedy in Texas, and this is what I do. I make jokes.
Yeah,
sorry,
I know.
Nothing offensive to anybody. It's just who I am.
Yeah, so I just want to mention it for the audience that they know this thing exists, and that's all. If somebody's interested, he can watch it on my Telegram channel.
Oh, there you go. I thought Jez was going to show it, so maybe he'll show it, or we'll get a chance to see it, and we can talk about it again when I've actually seen it.
Yeah.
We'll bring it back up. We'll just file it under incomplete discussion and come back to it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
the
start
next one is
Chapter 13.
now Cub chooses the order on all this stuff. Now he's put his foot down. So the next one chosen by Cub is Thunderbolts. Cub's
Hey, and
second favorite movie of
Oh.
all time, according
yeah,
to this list.
Greg, the order is by how they came out in the cinema. By the way,
Yeah.
Well,
it's not.
I don't care what method you use. You put your foot down and stomped around.
No, yeah, but it's easier. So it's much
It might
easier
be
for
easier, but in this
anybody.
case, Cat's phone is dying. So I might have made the list so that the shows that Cat had seen we would be able to talk to while she was still here instead of having to follow the Cub rule. And you see,
Right.
right? So
Exactly.
these are the kind of little changes I made that would make the stream better instead of having to follow the way they came out or the German way or whatever. And now we have to do it this way. And the ones she saw are probably all at the bottom, like mine.
And it was
Yeah,
really, really hard for me to watch this movie anyway, because it's like what you said a little bit ago. It just kept pouring after pouring after,
Oh
and
my
I
gosh,
couldn't
yeah,
even hardly watch it.
yeah.
are we talking
It's
about
very.
Thunderbolts?
Do what?
Are we
Hmm?
talking about Thunderbolts?
Yeah,
So, who has seen it besides me?
I
I have.
seen a decent bit of it.
I saw it.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the new Marvel crap, Thunderbolts.
Right. Okay,
So
so I'll start off. It starts out with a girl. She blows up a whole floor of an office building.
you mean Black Widow or not?
Greg,
Greg?
are
He
you there, Greg?
Yeah, he's disappeared again in the Stranger
Oh
World
my!
dimension.
Are y'all? Can
There
y'all
he
hear
is.
me? I
Now
don't
I
Yes.
know what's
can.
happening. I don't know why this is happening. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll start over again. Okay, so Thunderbolts. It starts out with this blonde chick who I don't recognize, but I'm not
She's
a.
she's from Black Widow. She's the new Black Widow.
Okay,
Really?
well I missed that. I don't watch as much MCU as Cub does, but anyway, she blows up the floor of an office building, and then uh, she got directed to go deal with a problem along with these other people, and they're all meant to kill each other, and they got to meet in the vault, and they're going to kill the guy who's up there. They have this really weird scene where they're climbing this shaft in a way that would be impossible to do. What did y'all guys think about the way they climb the shaft?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You can't
No, it
climb the
didn't.
shaft like that, just with your feet, because your hands are tied. How did you want to get out of the shaft when you are at the top?
Yeah, it's impossible. You're going to fall. And they
Yeah,
would have
Right?
all fallen to their death. It's the stupidest thing I ever saw.
yeah, but most of them were super soldiers anyway, because these were the super soldier rejects or not.
Well, at least two of them were
No,
the
Yeah.
Russian
three,
one and the other guy.
three of them, because you had Bucky, of course.
Oh, that's right. So Bucky as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and then you had here Kurt Russell's
Russian
son.
guy, and then the other one. Yeah. So
Yeah, Kurt Russell's son here from
even super
uh,
soldiers can go splat, Cub.
Yeah.
That high up.
Yeah, they can.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah. So you had half of these people were from Falcon and Winter Soldier, and and from the Black Widow movie. So
Well, I'm glad we got you here to keep all that straight, Cub.
two movies, a movie and a TV series that's both flopped, by the way, that nobody has seen. So so everybody has kind of superpowers, because you have also the ghost character from Commie Mania, yeah, Ant-Man, the third one, where they make advertising for communism. So Commie Mania, it's called, I think. Can you remember, Greg,
Oh yeah.
the socialist movie where Michael Douglas wanted to explain to us that communism is not that bad, because the
I missed
ants
that.
Oh,
Yep.
the ants. The
Yeah.
ants are communists. They have
Yeah.
communes and stuff. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this Communist Manifesto movie, which also bombed, by the way,
They put that into our Rachel Zegler movie too. It was very good. Did you get a chance
yeah,
to see that, Cat? You weren't
Which
on the
one?
uh,
Snow White.
Snow White. Yeah.
No, I did not.
Okay. So, uh, did any of the women or girls you know get a chance to see it? Did the I was just gonna get the female opinion on it real quick.
I figure my granddaughter, maybe my daughter did, but I
Did they
I
say
have
anything
never
about
talked.
it?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, well, we've
Yeah.
got the female opinion on Snow White. They didn't see it.
Yeah.
They weren't interested
They
in it.
also don't care, like the
Just
males.
yep. Yeah, pretty much.
I
Yeah.
just we missed you on that episode, and I wanted to ask you. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so with Thunderbolts, so you had all these characters from all the failures of the MCU. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Because all the shows that they were in and movies that they were in, they all bombed horribly. Nobody watched them. So you had, and half of them are super soldier rejects. Like Bucky from Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and also you had the other super soldier from there here, well, the character here, which Kurt Wyatt Russell plays. What's the name of the character? U.S. Marshal, I think, is, or U.S. Agent is his name, I think, as a character. Yeah, and then you had also this ghost character who can go through walls. For a few seconds, she can, like a ghost, can go through walls.
Yeah.
And then you have the task mistress, here, the female taskmaster.
Is that the chick who was given the orders? Elaine from Seinfeld, was that her?
No, that was the one that got shot directly in the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's
we
and
hardly
it's
saw
also
her at
from
all.
Antifa Man, by the way, from Antifa Man 2, for I think this character, the reversed taskmaster, the female one, because in the comics it's a male one, and he was also played by a male in the movie. But when she took her mask off, they just put her face or her head on the male body, something like that. It's a meme on the internet. So
Oh, wow. So they swapped her head onto a guy's body?
yeah, but she
That's
has
weird.
she has also had kind of superpowers. At least she could mimic other powers. That's where her superpower. But the thing is, the head of this troop is this Black Widow wannabe, this short Black Widow, and she's the only one that doesn't have any superpowers, by the way. But she's the boss for some reason. So she's the boss of two super soldiers, and from Ghost, who has also superpowers, but she's the only one who hasn't any superpowers. But she's, for reasons, the boss. How makes that any sense? Greg, can you explain that to me?
I guess maybe her leadership abilities.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
She came up with great ideas like climbing up that thing all back to back to back to back,
yeah.
which would have got them all killed.
So all of them
I'm not saying that she thought of it, but she went right along with it. She wasn't really the leader there, right? So even though she gave orders and stuff, when it comes right down to making bad decisions, she made some bad ones. Matter of fact, they should have been killed several times. Actually,
Yes, yeah, they should have been killed, all of them, besides the super soldiers, of course.
And of course, she's really just a. She's not. You don't see her superpower. You're a cub. You can't realize her superpower is super therapist. The therapy. The whole
Yeah.
movie. The end of the
Yeah.
movie was just a big therapy session, and that's her superpower, cub. You're diminishing her by not recognizing that. That
Yeah,
makes me sad.
so it was kind of like the Suicide Squad, the first one. Because
Oh my
can you remember in the first Suicide Squad they made this Suicide Squad this from people from rejects or from villains or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They made this troop, and then it turned out one of them was the bad guy. Here, the one with the magic powers, the enchantress, or what was her name? She was the bad guy. So the Suicide Squad had to fight against a problem that they themselves have created in the first Suicide Squad. And this time again, one of these rejects. Because they were all working for a governor or something like that, and she wanted to get rid of them because they were investigating her, and that's why they had to meet up. And she wanted to blow them up to solve the problem in the first place or whatever. And one of them turns out to be the Marvel Superman, thanks to an experiment or whatever. And he has superpowers like Superman, but also he has a split identity and kind of.
Cub, do you think that they perhaps were kind of hitting on the plot from The Boys, where they were making their own serum to make a super soldiers, or not super soldiers, but whatever you call the super creatures that the boys have? I think they kind of stole that whole idea from there, don't you?
Yeah. See, all the boys stole it from the Marvel comics.
Yeah. So
because I can't tell you exactly the origins of this character because I have never read these comics. All I know about him is just from Gary and Nerdrotic, because he talks sometimes about comic books, and so at least I know who this character is.
Okay, all right.
Because the movie doesn't tell you for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, and I haven't read the comics either, so you know more about it than I do.
Yeah,
but
as I said,
I've watched The Boys, and we've talked about that, and I see the similarities in story ideas, and it seems like they just kind of lifted the whole idea out.
Yeah, but the Boys is just a parody of Marvel and DC.
Well, that's true.
So on. Yeah. So in the original, probably the Boys had the idea from the Marvel comics and made fun of it, I guess. But who at the end, who cares?
Not me.
It's really just what we see on the screen that matters. And yeah, but we don't see much in this movie because it's really he doesn't kill the people. He just puts them in a kind of other dimension where they get their therapy.
Cub dimension.
Yeah, where they get their therapy treatment or not. They have to face their biggest fears. So something like Nightmare on Elm Street, I would say.
Yeah, his big power is also to be like some super terrible therapist where you're constantly reliving your worst moments. You know what that reminds me of? You remember the classic, one of Cub's all-time favorite movies, Star Trek V, with Kirk. You remember how Spock's brother, before we found out about his awesome sister, we found out about Spock's brother.
He has a huge family.
And he would do something very similar to this, right?
Greg, you mean Cyborg.
Yeah, Cyborg, that's him.
Yeah.
His half brother Cyborg, and after that we find out about his half sister. I can't even tell you her name from Kurt.
Yeah, what a messed up family, huh?
Right.
Yeah, it's a huge family. A Spock family, probably
Michael,
the whole galaxy.
Freaking,
yeah,
she's got a guy's name from Discovery or whatever.
Yeah, Spock's father. He went through all the whorehouses in the whole
I'm
galaxy.
telling you.
That's what Vulcans are known for, as you know, from the
Yeah.
original canon.
Crazy. But anyway, I didn't mean to distract you, but that's what came to mind when I was watching this. I was like, they're stealing this from Star Trek Five. And
Hello?
Yeah, again, we lost Greg. Seems he
am I gone?
no,
There you are.
now you are back.
I know something's happening. I don't know what. I keep cutting in and out, and I can't figure why.
Yeah, technology's wonky today, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe if I went away and came back, can y'all handle it? I guess I'm through with Thunderbolts. Rust is the next on the list, and I only saw a little bit of that. I'll try and go out and come back in.
All right.
Okay.
I did
Okay.
not get to watch this one.
Yeah. So, Kat, you haven't seen Thunderbolts, I think. Have you seen at least a review on it or something like that?
Something about these two kids having to go with their grandpa to Wyoming, and I think isn't it him that's got in trouble for he's gonna go to hang or something.
Yeah. Now you're talking about Rust. Yeah. Rust is the one where a camera woman got shot in one scene, and the movie itself, as you said, it's these two kids, and one gets in trouble, and then by coincidence he shoots the father of one of the kid that got trouble with his little brother, because it's also his neighbor or something like that, and he was hunting wolves, and then he shoots him, and now he should hang for it, and so his grandfather gets him out of the prison and tries to bring him over the border, that he's safe. Yeah. I'm personally not a big fan of. So let's see, the one who is probably a fan of this Western, because he's Texan, and all Texans like Western, as we know. It's a known
I was gonna
fact.
say it actually sounds good to me. I would watch it.
Testing. Okay, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I managed to watch the beginning of this thing and part of the middle, but it just kept cutting in and out the service I was using. But it looked like an average Western, not very, I can't really judge it because I didn't see enough of it. I did see a little bit of it, and it just seemed, kind of okay, but I wasn't able to watch enough to make a fair judgment.
oh, don't you think it was worth it that a woman died for this
No,
middle of the road Western?
no.
Yeah.
A single action pistol. You know what you're doing. You got to pull it all the way back and yank that hammer hard. He did that on purpose.
Oh, so you think that Alec Baldwin
Murdered her.
killed,
Yeah.
murdered her? Okay.
There's
I
your
didn't.
horror story.
I
That would
didn't
make
think
a good
about
horror
that.
movie. Is he planned this out and he waited all that time, and then I think he did it just because he wanted to take a life. I really do.
I
Look in
don't
his
know.
eyes. I can see it. I can see it.
I don't know. But the thing is, we can here only judge the movie, I would say, because what was going on set, we have no idea what was really going on there.
I can judge it.
So
You gotta have firearms demand personal responsibility. Anybody who doesn't take it seriously and pulls the trigger should be held accountable. I can judge him quite fine. Anybody who owns a firearm is held to a certain minimum level of responsibility, which he breached, and he should be held accountable. Of course, he's rich, and he won't be, and he hadn't been.
yeah, I'm not an Alec Baldwin fan anyway, so I really don't care about this guy, and I think it's a sad thing that a
Oh,
woman
we might have lost
died.
Cat.
Yeah, it seems like we lost Kat, but I hope she comes in again. And so
Hopefully.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, it's really sad that you have seen most of this movie, and I have seen it through. It's 2.5 hours or something like that. It's exactly what you have seen. It's just a middle of the road Western. It's
boring. There's really not much to it at all.
the
Alec
story
Baldwin,
is so predictable.
Yeah.
It's
the
really
kid acts
only
very predictably and stupidly, and Baldwin is like this harsh, authority figure to the kid. It's just, very, very 1950s level Western, right? I don't see anything. The 50s did it better on Westerns, honestly. This is like a 1930s or 40s version, maybe.
Yeah, and also the accident where this kid shoots the neighbor. It was so unbelievably staged for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, that's how it's supposed to be happened. So he shot on a wolf or something like that, and oh my God, it was his neighbor. Yeah, sure. I don't know. The whole thing, the whole story is so constructed.
And it is weird, though, that the story is about an accidental shooting, and then, there's a supposedly accidental shooting on set.
Supposedly accident. Maybe it was the same kind of accident like the one with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident at all.
And maybe that's what he's saying. As a filmmaker. If he did plan this as a murder and do the murder and then have the thing written about that, maybe this is just, do you see what I'm saying? How if he was this twist, because he also produced this film and he was the big person behind it. It could be that this is a big, elaborate artistic endeavor. That's the kind of thing I would not put past him.
Yeah, the thing is, I would like to compare this Western to another Western where you have an old guy and really a very, very young person on a jory together. It's called True Grit. I think it's a classic.
Yeah,
I think this is an all-time classic. And this is what I had expected, something like that, something interesting like that.
Yeah.
But they completely missed out of that. Then it was nothing like True Grit. It was just kind of normal story without any edges, nothing.
Or if you want another example, of a story with two characters, an older and a younger.
What?
Yeah. He's gone again.
The Searchers.
Huh?
There he is.
Yeah. It keeps cutting out, but the other movie that it certainly didn't reflect. It didn't remind me of The Searchers, but another great movie of the type that you're speaking of. Yeah, The Searchers, where you have an older guy and the younger one, and they're on this epic quest that takes, in The Searchers' case, a decade or something.
Yeah, as I said, it's really it was really disappointing, lame. No recommendation for me because this is
thumbs down from me.
Yeah, it's just I would say streaming movie or something like that. Look, I don't know. It's not the cinema. It was not a cinema experience at all. So yeah, I would say let's go to the next one. Final.
Okay, Kat, did you get a chance to see the new Final Destination movie?
No, I did not. My daughter went and seen it. I haven't even got to ask her about it yet.
Oh, no.
We had 4th of July,
Right. Yeah, me too. But yeah, I did get to see this one. So basically, you've got a new chapter. This is a prequel. It starts out in the 1960s up on I don't know, like the Needle in Seattle. think
Yeah,
it's
a restaurant
yeah, a
opening.
The
restaurant.
Sky
Way up.
Needle, isn't that what it is?
What's that?
Isn't it called the Sky Needle or something?
Yeah, they
I'm
are
not sure.
I think in Seattle. Here from
Yeah.
they are from Men in Black. It was these two the needles. I think it was I think from a World Fair or something like that. These two needles.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
I don't know the history of it, but at any rate, in this version, the thing is going to crash down. Of course, and they're doing their chubby checker dance on the glass floor, way and up there, and um, okay, as a prequel, I thought it was interesting that they came up with a new way to do it. They went all the way through all the different deaths, and you had some creative ones. You had the brothers. I thought they just don't know how to write guys at all. Every time it's like everybody is a frat guy in the 70s. You know what I mean? Hitting each other in the balls and fucking with each other, even though people are literally dying around them. They've got time to just be idiots. So yeah, typical,
Yeah,
bad writing.
and it's not a prequel. It's really a sequel. It has just
With elements of a prequel.
background history on
The
characters.
beginning makes it like a combination prequel slash sequel, because yeah, it goes back even further than where we had started, and then you
Yeah.
have somebody who's been fighting it all the way through. This lady, and she did basically what you would have to do is, fortify yourself in the structure and hope for the best.
Yeah, and also the rules don't make any sense because uh, they said something like when you prevent your own death, then you also prevent the deaths of your family or whatever. But then you don't, for reasons I don't know.
That's weird.
Because for me it didn't seem really to matter if she prevented her death or not, if she hides out from death or not, because she was hiding that her family is safe or something like that. Because the death goes after a list. But we know that it doesn't matter if you
That's right.
just gets
But
to
they
the
don't
next
know
one.
that. So I can accept the fact that they're trying to figure this out, and clearly they got it wrong. At the end of the movie, they all thought, "Oh, we skipped because of their rules, which is basically just stuff people wrote down who are experiencing it. Doesn't mean they have the actual rule book." So as you see, they thought because she died and was brought back, um, technically she didn't die or whatever. Death's gonna find a way to get you no matter what you do.
Yeah,
Right? It's
the
life. Ain't
specialty,
nobody getting out of it alive.
Right?
yeah, the specialty with this movie, of course, is that it is the last movie from Tony Todd from the Candyman, and he gets his backstory in this movie. The coroner from the other movies that seems to know about death, and we get the backstory why he knows so much about death, because he was the child that survived.
Yeah, from the Space Needle
Yeah,
incident.
from the Space Needle incident, and yeah, it was, and seeing him in this movie was kind of depressing, I thought, because you could clearly see that he was ill. He was very thin compared to his other appearances, and yeah, and he, because he was really
Yeah,
ill.
he seemed
Yeah.
drained too when he was doing his scenes. Now that you mention it,
Yeah, I think he had cancer or something like that, and
Ooh.
and he had
Oh.
cancer in the show. Remember the other one was dying of cancer, and then he's like, yeah, maybe it moved on to me. So that's kind of ironic that he played somebody having cancer, and then that was his last
yeah,
role.
and
Like John Wayne did. He died of cancer in his last movie, The Shootist. He had cancer in it. So yeah, just
Yeah.
a
yeah,
sidebar.
and the thing, what I didn't mention in my review, when I made my review on it, on Bloodlines, the fact that I met Tony Todd in 2002 or 2003.
Is that when you met all those Star Trek people?
Yes, it was on the Star Trek convention in Hagen here in Germany, and he was there as the brother of Worf, and we stood close to each other. He stood at the door, and I was 2 meters or 3 meters in front of him, and we watched directly at each other, and I said something like hello or something like that, and he said that back, gave me a look, but we didn't speak to each other. This is not one of the stars that I spoke to, but I recognized him because I had shortly before just watched all of Deep Space Nine, and so I knew exactly who I was talking to, who I was watching and not talking to.
Well, that's cool. This has been great moments with Cub.
Yeah, no, the thing, it's a coincidence.
No, it is cool.
It's just a coincidence, but I can really remember this moment because, of course, I wanted to talk to all of the stars, but he was not at the meeting, at the after show. The only stars I could really talk to, like Lita and here the one from Quark's Club and so on, and here the Parks character that died very early in the show. Can you remember that died in this blob thing, kind of like this black goo in the second season. Parks is her name. She was very short.
Tasha Yar?
Yeah.
She was Denise Crosby.
Yeah, Denise Crosby. Yes, and she was singing there.
She's like the niece of Bing Crosby.
Yeah, and she had a show here in Quark's show in the after hour. She was singing there. Gave a song.
You go.
Yeah. But Tony Todd was not there in the after show, and that's the reason why I couldn't talk to him, because I would really had liked to talk to him also, not about Star Trek in general, just about also his other roles like Candyman and so on, which I also saw in the cinema, by the way. And so yeah, it's kind of sad, and but just wanted to mention that he seemed to be a very nice guy, by the way. For example, when Q and Janeway were also there, and they were kind of arrogant people. They directly left after their appearance, and there was so I couldn't talk to them or anything, and they didn't seem to very happy to be there. Oh, Greg is not there here anymore. He was he's still in his dark dimension, I guess. Kat, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was
Where's Greg?
Yeah, he was swallowed from his dark dimension, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I guess he appears again in a few minutes, comes back in. At least I hope so. When he's in a tornado or hurricane or something like that, I told him to go to the center, because there's normally very quiet in the center of the storm. Yeah, I was just talking about my meeting with these Star Trek people in Star Trek convention in 2002 in Hagen, here in Germany, and Tony Todd was one of them. That's why I mention it. And
I didn't even know he had cancer or anything.
I think he had cancer. I'm guessing that, because he looked very ill on screen. You have seen Final Destination or not?
No.
Yeah, it's his last movie, and he gets his backstory there. He plays the part of the coroner in the other movies, where the guy that seems to know so much about death.
Yeah.
And in part 6, we get his backstory. He was saved by the main character in the movie as a child in the space needle thing or whatever.
I remember
And
you saying that.
yeah, and that's why he kind of knows about death. He was working the whole time together with this woman, with this grandma from the main character from part 6. Yeah, it's a stupid backstory, but who cares? It's Final Destination. It's not Shakespeare
Right.
or something like that. So yeah, I guess that's okay. Yeah, I would say let's go to the next one. Could you watch Mission Impossible Part 8?
No, I didn't get to. Mainly what I watched was like the TV show stuff.
Could you watch Part 7, The Final Reckoning Part 1?
What are you talking about?
For Mission Impossible, Part 8 is...
Oh, no, I didn't get to watch it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but could you, because this Part 7 is from 2 years ago, I think.
Right, that's what I was reading about it, that they filmed both those movies back to back.
Yeah. So it's the same stupid story. It's again with this AI who nobody cares about, which wants to take over the world by destroying it, like Terminator, like here Skynet, but it's presented in a way that it's completely uninteresting and boring. I couldn't stand Part 7 already, but Part 7 is Citizen Kane and 2001 compared to Part 8. Part 8 is really bad. It's worse than Part 2 here from Mission Impossible, the John Woo one. Because there's at least something happens, kind of. And also Part 8 tries to explain all the parts, tries to come up with something like the one of the last James Bond movies, Spectre or whatever, where they try to explain that all the movies are connected with each other and so on. And in Part 8, they do the same thing, and you get flashbacks. It has many flashbacks to the other parts, and I just couldn't stand it. It was boring, slow, and long, and didn't make any sense. Stupid AI wants to destroy all mankind to rule over what?
Right. What's there to rule over after that?
Yeah, and also it wanted to destroy the infrastructure it needed to exist. Because an AI can't exist without the internet, or not.
Right.
Yes, it can exist in a room or something like that.
I'm back.
Great.
Yeah, Greg, we are talking about here. What's the name? We are talking about
Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
Mission Impossible.
About the AI taking over.
You're great at running the show, Cub.
And destroying all the people, and it's like, what is there to rule after that? It's
Yeah. What's the point of that?
That's dumb.
The point is this AI wants to rule over a Mad Max 2 world where there's no infrastructure where it can even exist. So it had to hide out in a cave, by the way, that it doesn't get hurt by the atomic explosions.
So they needed a villain that wanted to destroy everything and had super amazing powers to do it. And this is what they came up with.
Yeah, and the genius plan was to control every atomic bomb or whatever on the planet, and before they didn't control all of them, of course it couldn't destroy the planet. But if it would just have started one atomic bomb, the chain reaction would have destroyed the planet, or not?
No, atomic bombs don't work that way.
No, the chain reaction, I mean, if it starts, it had Russia under control, for example, in the movie, directly in the beginning. Russia or China
Well,
or
they act like, because these countries know that this is happening, you know, you can disable a freaking rocket without using computer.
Yeah, but what
a guy
I mean,
can go out there with a wrench and that rocket can be shut down in a few minutes. You just drain it. I'm not kidding you. It's not that hard.
Greg, I mean, in the movie they say they establish that there are 7 or 8 countries with atomic bombs, and they have most of them in the movie. They start directly out with having 2 or 3 or whatever already. That the AI has them already. But every one of these countries has enough atomic bombs to destroy our whole planet anyway. Yeah, and when one of them would drop an atomic bomb on another country, the other country would, of course, like we have seen in the Doomsday Machine here, Dr. Strangelove, it would, of course, would react and throw some bombs back or not.
Theoretically, almost certainly, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
But you don't know. You don't know when you get down to nukes being tossed around. You know, one goes here, one goes there. But are you going to throw a bunch more? Because they could throw a dozen, 100. Like you say, when you say destroy the planet's not going to be destroyed. But you could, you know, knock out all the cities or most of them, or you could cause a lot of problems for the people who survived. But the planet's going to be fine.
Yeah, but
everything will recover in time. You've watched enough of these after Doomsday movies. You know what it'll be like. Mad Max, baby.
Right.
Yeah, but Mad Max is not. It is not about a radioactive future. It's about a future without oil.
To me, Mad Max is certainly. It seems like the only thing that would have done that kind of destruction would have been a nuclear war. Now, Australia probably didn't get hit or got hit very lightly. But, you know, radiation, a single nuke going off over a city isn't going to affect a continent the size of Australia. You know, you would have to use thousands of nukes, literally at least hundreds, to have an effect, and then a lingering effect over the whole continent. So people think nuclear weapons are more than they are, but
the thing is the plan of this AI.
It's stupid. It's
stupid because when the AI it was already established that the AI was kind of controlling the whole planet already in the first movie, in part 7.
And it was enjoying it, apparently. Why would it not want to keep doing that? To have something interesting. Why would it want to box itself into a hole forever with nothing to do? It seems it seems anti whatever you would call it, intelligent. An intelligent entity would not want to put itself from being so immersed in all this stuff to nothing. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because the AI in Terminator, it had kind of the same plan, Skynet. It wanted to get rid of all people, also kind of, but it was not that advanced as the AI in Mission Impossible. It didn't have, because back then in Terminator times they had not the imagination that for something like the internet or something like that.
So these AIs, who do they interact with? What is making them, you know, want to destroy everybody so much? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they see the humans as distraction, as the only thing that could because an AI normally just does how it's programmed.
No, we lost Cat again.
Yeah. Yeah, but she has eight other lives, as you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, Kat, thanks God, you have eight other lives.
There, she's back.
Yeah, but one of your lives was gone. Sorry.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Evil Queen, I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So, I just want to ask you: have you seen Mission Impossible, the
Only parts.
reckoning? Because we wanted to do here
It
the
kept cutting out.
final reviewing. Yeah, of the final reckoning.
Yeah,
So-
I like you're saying, I thought that the premise was stupid. It was hard to take the movie seriously when the premise is that stupid.
Yeah, and even making two movies about a stupid premise was
Yeah,
not a
it's
good,
the same
very
premise
good
from the
idea.
last movie. That's what's
Yeah.
so crazy.
And the last one was already not that great. It was boring as hell because I
Yeah.
can't stand this. If you want to make something like AI, then go all the way, make it directly like Terminator or whatever. That's how you do it with much action and robots and things like that. Or do something really creative with it. But this was just, yeah, it's an evil AI. We have to stop it. The powers are like magic or something like that. And that's it. Like script says, it has exactly the powers the script needs for a story or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so much for stupid Mission Impossible. There's really not much to talk about. Or
Yeah, I agree. Just it's kind of a boring, bland movie. I was disappointed. Basically, this one and the last one were both disappointing. The one before was okay, but the whole series has gotten stale.
Yeah, and also, why do the final one make it out like it is the final one when you end it like a cliffhanger? When you end it like every other one, just they are ready for the next mission. So what's the finality with this one? I didn't understand that. Because
I don't either. It's not over, is it?
Yeah, it didn't. It had. I didn't had the feeling. Oh, this is the final one. They could just make another one if they want to.
Yeah.
Next mission, because not everybody died there. There was just one death from the crew.
I think they've jumped the shark by now, though, don't you?
Yeah, and completely forgot what the original Mission Impossible was about. Because it was not about stupid AIs who want to take over the world or something like that.
No.
There was small, interesting missions, and that's it.
And the betrayal within the team and stuff like that. It was about interpersonal relationships. It wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah. So this thing, they completely blew that up. There is even one movie missing from the list, by the way. I see that F1 is not on the list.
You didn't put it on the list.
Yeah,
No.
I kind of forgot. Kind of forgot.
Well, you can't keep adding stuff now. It's a little late to add stuff now. We're halfway through the stream.
But maybe
you see that, Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we kind of have to talk at least a little bit about F1.
We can't talk about it until we see it. That ain't fair. We're gonna have to put it on the stream. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not about the movie itself. It's more about
You're doing it anyway.
No, Greg. What I wanted to mention is not the plot of the movie, or if the movie is good or if it's bad or something like that. I wanted to mention some facts for people that they may have overlooked, coincidences with which together with Top Gun. Because can you remember back then, Top Gun came out, was a big hit, and then they tried Top Gun on wheels. They tried Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I do
And
remember that.
yeah, and
Pretty
the
lame.
guy, yeah, and the guy who made Days of Thunder, I think, was also from Tony Scott, like Top Gun back then.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because
You're off on a tangent from a tangent now.
yeah, no, because here with Maverick, with Top Gun 2, is from the same guy, like as F1, like
Okay.
Maverick on wheels. And so they had after 30 years, they had the same formula again. They made a Top Gun in the sky, who was a big success, and then they made one on wheels, which wasn't that big of a success, by the same director. That's the only fact I just wanted to
I
mention.
see what
that.
you're saying. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because nobody mentioned that till now.
No.
That's what I recognize.
No, I didn't even think about that myself. Yeah,
So that
Hollywood has a way of doing that. You ever notice how they'll do all like super deep sea movies at the same time, or the movies about, like in '89 they had The Abyss and the other one, and then they have a tendency to follow patterns, like you're saying.
Yeah, and this is just something that I recognize, and just wanted to mention that. I really didn't want to talk about the stupid movie because I don't care for this racing movies. I've seen it, yes, and it's I guess it's okay, but as I said, I'm not a racing fan anyway. So yeah,
Except
don't care.
Speed Racer, you probably love Speed Racer. Dun, dun, dun. Speed Racer.
No,
That's
I can say that much. It's not the best racing movie that I've seen in the last years. Here, Gran Turismo is much better.
There you go. You see, a racing movie recommendation from Cub. I think that's the first time we've had that here on the channel in 5 years.
No, we had that when we talked about Gran Turismo, if you can remember.
Which is what you're doing. You're mentioning that again, which is the first time. A replay of the first time.
Yeah, just saying. So,
man, you're so precise, Cub.
Yeah, the thing is, just wanted to mention that, but we can now talk about the next one on the list.
Okay, let's keep going while Kat's phone's still up.
Yeah,
we lost her again.
Yeah, we lost her, but I'm pretty sure she comes in again.
Well, hopefully she's having less and less power every time. Okay, so the next one on the list, as you know, is Lilo and Stitch, which I didn't get a chance to see.
Yeah, so
is that a repeat or something? I didn't see the original either, so I wouldn't have known anything.
Yeah, so it really makes sense to talk about it. Yeah, I have seen the original just to review the new one, and I know the differences. I know the controversy, or what you call it.
Oh man, you were looking forward to it. Maybe Kat's seen it. Maybe she'll get back in time to. If only we'd been able to get to it a little quicker.
Yeah. Yeah, but we couldn't do anything. In Germany we stick to protocols and rules.
But you didn't stick to protocol. You kept adding extra stuff in and delaying it.
No,
that's against protocol.
No, in Germany that's okay. Yeah. That's how the bureaucracy in Germany works.
Well, we'll ask her about it when she comes back, if she makes it back.
Yeah, because it's a girl movie anyway, a children's movie. So
perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to jump to it like I wanted to.
Yeah, but I'm sure she comes back in a few minutes.
He's trying.
But till then, I can tell a little bit about the controversy about this movie. It's a huge success, yes, but many people are angry on the changes Disney made, especially with the ending. Because in the ending of the original, this little girl could stay with her family. because the whole theme of the movie is family. It's they say something like Kohana or whatever, which is Hawaiian and means
Okay,
family.
so it's some little girl who has like an alien friend. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's about all I know about it.
Yeah, but that's generally speaking the theme of
So the
movie.
original was more family friendly than this one.
Yeah, kind of, because in the original she could stay. They could all stay together. The family could stay together, but this one, the new one, supports that she gets adopted from her aunt or something like that, and stays with the new family. And the sister, her real family, can now go and educate herself in school or something like that. So this movie supports splitting up the family. But the whole time they're talking about family is the most important thing and you have to stay together.
So they're splitting up the family so she can go to some fancy school.
Yeah, in this new version, and in the old one they stay together. They can stay as family together. The two sisters, the last survivors of the family of the original one, and
It's
that's
kind of like in those old British movies where they're always sending their kids off to these schools, and then they live at those schools, and
no.
it kind of it makes for like a very weird, almost like sending your kid off to military school. Doesn't seem.
Yeah, no. The thing is, they had made many changes in this one, in the new version, that hardcore Lilo and Stitch fans get really pissed off with. Even the movie is a huge success and gets a continuation and so on, this live action version, but still I can see why original fans of the original movie are pissed. I can really see that,
Kind of like how they did with Star Wars, how they changed it up so much, and their first movie was successful, but they did so much damage that by the second movie with Rian Johnson, the fans, were out the door.
Yeah,
because they took away, Luke Skywalker. They took away, and they thrust in Rey and all this stuff, and people, they were seemingly happy with it, but not really. No one goes back and watches that movie, and everyone was pissed. And by the time you got to the next movie, they were really angry. At least the true fan. I guess you had fans who liked it.
Yeah. Disney ruins everything.
Yeah, it just reminds me of. It sounds like a similar thing. I bet if they made several more of those, they'd get less and less popular each time.
Yeah, probably, but
because they're on the path to doing that, just like they have done to just about every freaking thing they've touched in the last 10 or 15 years, anyway.
Yeah. So but there's really not much to say more about it, because I thought as a movie it's okay, this live action version, because I'm not a hardcore Lilo and Stitch fan from the original, but I see why people get angry who like the original, and I also get that the messaging in this one is a little bit off, because it talks the whole time about family has to stay together, but at the end they don't stay together. So it contradicts the own message, kind of. And also they left out some characters from the original, like the alien that hunts them. There's a big alien, a kind of bad guy, whatever, that goes after them, tries to kill them.
Not in the movie at all, in the new one?
Yeah, and in the new one, they completely left out this character completely. And I guess he appears in the second movie and the continuation, probably, maybe. But then they have to also change the story of the second movie, because Lilo and Stitch has already continuations in the animation versions. It has also a TV series and things like that. But I didn't watch them. I just watched the first one for the review. because they are from, I think, from 2002 or 2003 or whatever, and I really don't care so much about them. I thought the animated one was really good. I liked it much more than the real life one, but still not enough that I say it's one of the movies I would rewatch or something like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, this new Disney content back then already I didn't care for. I also not the animated ones. It was just not more for me. I'm not a kid or a woman, so why should I care for Disney stuff? It's girl stuff anyway. It's a girl brand. Everybody knows that, and that's the problem with Disney, because Star Wars, for example, is a boys brand. And
well, when they originally bought it, they said they wanted to expand into other areas, but what they did is they bought boy brands and turned them into girl brands, I guess, because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah, and so of course you destroy your brand when you try to make from a boy brand a girl brand. It doesn't work. It never. How can that work? Because boys and girls are interested in different things. They are not exactly the same. And because if they would be exactly the same, there won't be girls and boys. There would be
the way they see the world is that girls were being excluded from these brands. They weren't ever being excluded. They just weren't interested in it. And no matter how much you try to change it to make them interested, the very premises of the brands exclude girls because they don't want to watch it. And they can't handle that because they're so popular. And there are girls who want to watch it, but they want to watch the good stuff, the stuff that they like. They don't want to see something that's pandering to women. That's only going to bring in a tiny little sliver of your audience.
Yeah, and also there are also girl brands where no man tries to say make it more enjoyable for men. Something like Barbie or whatever. You will never see a man saying, "Oh my God, you should make Barbie for men," or something like that.
That's true.
Okay, the gay ones maybe, but normal people wouldn't say that. They wouldn't care for it.
I understand what you meant.
Yeah, but
I don't even hear gay people saying the rah rah rah. There's no demand to put males in the Barbie. We don't want to ruin their brands. We're happy that they have something that they like, but they don't see the world that way. They're not happy that guys have stuff that they like that they don't control. You know what I mean? It has messages that they don't approve of because it's positive about masculinity. And that's not allowed right now.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Probably. As I said, but I would say enough for Lilo and Stitch. There's really not so much to talk about when I'm the only one that has seen it, and I'm not even a huge fan or something like that. It doesn't make really sense to talk about it. I would say we should talk about the next one. What do you say, Greg?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So the next one is John Wick, Ballerina, or this spin-off.
The next one is Ballerina, and I saw it.
Oh my God! Can't believe that. So tell us everything about your favorite John Wick movie, Ballerina.
Okay, so I'm surprised. I didn't think I was going to like it. I would say it's certainly better than the last John Wick movie, which has gotten confusing and repetitive and boring. But I'd say this is in the series. I'd put this right below the first one. First one, and then Ballerina, and then the rest of them, you can throw them in wherever you want. But so it's got a girl. She's a assassin. She runs into John Wick a couple of times in the movie.
Yeah, wait a second. It plays between part 2 and 3, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
That's why she runs into him, because John Wick kind of died after part 4.
Right. Well, yeah. I guess I should have specified that this movie was not really a prequel, but what do you call it when they put it in the middle like that?
Middle quell or something like
Yeah,
that.
middle quell. Okay, so I thought it was going to be a girl boss movie, but I didn't see it as that at all. I just saw it as just a girl. She battled. One of the things they were telling her that, okay, you're smaller, this and that, so you got to cheat, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you see that she gets thrown around, she gets beat up. She's not some super soldier able to throw around 300-pound guys. To me, it felt more realistic because it wasn't totally realistic. They had to let her win, of course, but she got her butt kicked. She made it look hard. She didn't make it look like this easy peasy, toss guys around like they're nothing. And the shooting, she was competent with her weapons, which is a big deal if you've ever seen somebody like Steven Seagal. Totally incompetent with his weapons. You get up there and you're not competent with them. It comes across. That's why Keanu Reeves is able to do such a good job with John Wick. But they don't go. I don't know. I would
I don't
recommend.
know. I'm not a fan of the movie, and the reason for it is that it kind of cheated, because even it says at the beginning, you can't go up against men who are bigger than you and whatever. You have to fight like a girl. You have to cheat.
Yeah.
And so, what does she do in this scene? She gives him a kick in the balls,
Right.
and that's it. You never see that again in another fight. In the other fights,
okay.
she
When
just fights like a super fighter who is indestructible, like John Wick himself.
Look, somewhat. They have to make her like that. The script calls for it. She's got to go through and mow all these people down. But if you watch, there's like a pickaxe she grabs. She's always grabbing like weapons. When she fought the guys on that dance floor, you notice how she threw one at them. She picked it up. She threw another at them. She was constantly.
Hey, did you mean the scene where they played the Michael Jackson song "Blood on the Dance Floor"?
Yeah, that's true. But she was constantly cheating. She was picking up, she was stabbing, she was doing stuff that was certainly dishonorable at all times. So I watched for that, what you're talking about. But if you remember, I can remember her grabbing the ice pick, and yeah. So I don't know. I do see your point, and I could have went that direction, but I chose not to because I kind of enjoyed the movie. And I'm honest here. If I didn't enjoy it, I'd say nope. And that's what I expected, because the last John Wick movie I thought was kind of lame. I'm sorry, but and I didn't enjoy the hotel, whatever it was, series. I don't know. The whole world that they built is so fucking unreal. You got guys in charge, but you can kill them off because that don't matter. I don't know.
But the thing is, John Wick cinematic universe is not existent because the hotel series flopped. Yeah, but also, which I liked, by the way, I kind of liked it. I thought, it's okay. I didn't mind.
I didn't watch it all. I got bored. I just don't really like the premise, I guess.
And this Ballerina thing also bombed, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Ironically, I thought it was pretty good.
So there is no John Wick cinematic universe.
I think it bombed because girl boss movies are unpopular right now, even if they're good. Like that, what was the Mad Max sequel? It was pretty good, but it bombed too because we're tired of girl boss movies. We don't trust it.
Yeah, you are again. I can't hear you, Greg, for reasons.
Hello?
Yeah, now you are back.
It keeps cutting in and out. I changed to a whole different phone, so it's not my equipment. It has something to do with StreamYards or something. It's got to be.
Maybe. So the thing is, when you have Mad Max series without Mad Max, and you have a John Wick series without John Wick, or he's just a guest appearance for a few minutes or something like that, like in Ballerina, of course, people are going to reject that because the main characters are important. when you name the thing.
I think
after
though,
that.
if they had, the women did fine in both cases, but I think the fact that you've had so many female-led movies that have been so terrible, like Captain Marvel, for instance, but the Spider one, and over and over, and especially recently, I think that if they'd went with a male backup or instead of a female, that they might have stood a better chance. I didn't hold it against this movie. I liked the movie, but I think that I didn't go see it because I figured it was another girl boss movie, which I don't think it was. It kind of was, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was entertaining enough, I would say. I didn't love it or something like that, but I also didn't mind it.
I thought it was better than the last John Wick movie, so that I thought it was going to be even worse.
I wouldn't say it was better than the last John Wick movie, but I also didn't care for the last one.
It's just the premise is stale by now.
Yeah, because this whole John Wick thing, as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of John Wick anyway, because for me it's only a variation of Leon, the profession, but for a mainstream audience. It's kind of, what if a hitman could at the end have a normal life or get out of the contract or whatever, and because Leon is this depressing variation, which is much more realistic, I think, that at the end you die when you are in this kind of work, and that's it. There is no happy ending for this kind of thing when you do that. But then you have something like here Mr. Nobody or whatever, and John Wick and so on, which are just variations of this Leon thing. Mainstream audience.
One of the things that I liked about it is, even though the only, or one of the few movies in the gunpowder era where you've got our gun shooting, I compared the John Wick movies to our old Lone Wolf and Cub, or one of the samurai movies where you'll have a single samurai standing against unknown huge numbers of these others. You couldn't, until John Wick, you didn't really do that with guns because he could just get shot. But in this universe, he doesn't get shot like he normally
does. But as you know,
Lone Wolf kind of like a samurai going up against this army all by himself, which is, I'm saying, it harkens back to those days when a single swordsman would stand against the horde.
Yeah, but also in Lone Wolf and Cub, as you know, it doesn't have a happy ending. Lone Wolf dies.
I wasn't talking about the ending, or I was only comparing it to that or any other but
I say these are
against the what I'm saying. When you see John Wick moving, killing, to me it reminded me of the samurai moving, killing, like you'd see in. I'm not comparing it to all the aspects or having the child or
what I'm saying is these are
the combat.
These are just the mainstream versions of these really great movies or TV series like Lone Wolf and Cub or Leon the Professional or Nikita. So and for me, this is kind of, it's not interesting. Even the first John Wick, I thought, yeah, it was okay, not that special, because I really like the original ones. Don't like these variations of it that are watered down for mainstream audience, that you have just the killings without consequences, kind of somebody who is a contract killer but then kind of goes in retirement, and which is kind of a happy ending. But for me, the version where there is no happy ending, where when you it's also more after like the Bible, when you take the sword, you die with a sword or to a sword. So the old ones are for me more poetic also, and so yeah, that's my problem with all this new crap. I want to.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. That's well said. I guess that sums up Ballerina, though, huh?
Yeah, I would say that's enough for Ballerina, and let's go to the next animated
How to
real
Train
life.
Your Dragon.
Yeah.
So I was able to watch the beginning of this where everything's being attacked by a ridiculous number of dragons and they're Vikings. And then later, I've got part of the sessions where he's training the dragon or trying to. That's all I was able to see it cut out.
Okay, but did you see the original back then? It's
No, I didn't see either one. It's like the Lilo and Stitch thing.
the animated one.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't this kind of stuff.
Okay. So what I recognize with this new version, it is kind of shot for shot remake, but also it isn't. Because again, they had to add stupid stuff. Maybe you catched it when you watched scenes from it. Did you catch the Black Vikings? The diverse Vikings?
I didn't notice them.
Yeah,
now that you mention it, I think I did see them, but
Yeah.
I wasn't noticing it at the time.
And also they changed the red-haired, I think. Is it the
But
red-haired
the way I mean,
girlfriend? Also made her more diverse, and also gave her a bigger part, kind of in the action. And so I couldn't stand this new version because this is again a successful movie like Lilo and Stitch, because most people are stupid, brainless consumers who don't care if these things, these diversity things and things that didn't make any sense are sneaked into the new version. But I care, and so for me, 0 points if somebody makes a story about Vikings and shows me Black Vikings and Chinese Vikings and things like that, then I'm out. Sorry. And even if it's just for a second, and even if it's just for one scene, that's it for me. Because I'm so fed up with this trying for reasons to insert these themes for no reason. Because this agenda is clearly destructive. It tries to destroy the society, the families and things like that. It tries to destroy the culture. This is revisionist history also. And now you can say, yeah, but it's about dragons and whatever. No, when people say that, they're stupid. When you show little kids, because who is seeing this crap? Little kids. And then you show them Black Vikings being, why? Why should they learn something stupid like that with their small brains? I don't understand. What do you want to achieve with something like that? Yeah, so much for my rant on that. But
I agree that whenever you have something that's inconsistent with history, like if you made George Washington black or something, that would ruin it for me. And if it's like they did in Snow White, where they put all those different characters in an early German town, it just doesn't fit. And the thing that makes it so weird is if it was like Wakanda or whatever, you don't see a single other person other than all black.
Hey, you saw white people in Wakanda. They were the bad guys, as you know.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because you needed bad guys, and then you of course then you have to bring in from other countries white people because you need bad guys.
When you had the movie set in Asia, like I don't know, Mulan or whatever, the ones where the girl's an archer, they're all Asians. not one black, not one white person, not one German. Why wouldn't they have like some big German guy, in Wakanda or in there? I mean, if you're gonna do that, then be fair about it. There's this
Yeah,
weird. There's
yeah,
this,
and at least it would make sense. A German guy in Wakanda would make sense because Germans were back then racist too.
yeah.
So that would at least make sense. They would be best friends, best pals.
But honestly, the Vikings and some Germans and stuff did go all over the known world into the Middle East. So you had the sultans who had Viking bodyguards and stuff. It's very strange. But as a side note, as a historian, there were these tall giant Nordic types who were in these very obscure and unknown parts of the world. The Vikings got around, man.
Yeah, but as I said, these changes if it's with Lilo and Stitch, there were also some diversity changes, by the way, on gender changes, swaps, and things like that. Or here with How to Train Your Dragon, I hate that. And they were much smarter with these ones. That's why they are big successes at the box office. Because, for example, in How You Train Your Dragon, these black Vikings, they were just there for short few seconds. They had not so much to do with the action or something like had no speaking roles. They were just there just for reasons. But they wanted to show them. And that's the so they were smarter with their
rules that they have to do that. It wouldn't surprise me if they want to.
But they're already diversified a main character
or that award. What do you want to bet? There's some rule that we're not aware of.
Yeah, but they're also already diversified. One of the main characters here, the girl,
I know, but you can never have enough. Apparently, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. I don't like inauthentic historical representation.
Yeah, and I don't like gender swaps or diversity changes and things like that. When you make a remake, then stick to the original. When you make a real life version from an animated one, then stick to the. If you don't have a really good reason for a change, don't change it. If there was a reason for storytelling reasons or something like that, or because technical reasons, okay, then you can change things. But if there's not a real reason for it and you change it, then you are just stupid.
I think in Battlestar Galactica, the reboot series, where it was part of the story, that it was the same soul but in a different form. So Starbuck could be a girl. I think that's a story-driven way to do it. Now, you can get tired of even that after we've had so much of it. But at the time, it didn't bother me. It was story-driven. That was okay.
Whereas and of course it helps. It helps when the character is written that interesting.
Right. Oh, it helps a lot.
That helps a lot because normally I would also with Starbucks. It's a good argument. If somebody tells me that he can't stand new Battlestar Galactica because of Starbucks, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't say to him that's stupid. I would say, yeah, I can see your point. I clearly can see that.
Oh, I can certainly see it.
Yeah.
But I went into it thinking I wasn't sure, and she convinced me. So it's one of the few things that I can point to. But it's what you were saying. It's part of the story driven, and it made sense, and it worked, and and sometimes they one of the things that bothered me, I thought that Colonel Ty should be a black guy. Because he was in the 70s version, he was one of my favorite characters.
Hey, and also
so I thought it was, and they replaced him with a white guy, and I didn't like that as an original Galactica fan. But just like with Starbuck, I was like, okay, it's part of the story. It didn't bother me at all. I thought the guy who played Colonel Ty, the white guy in the new series, he did a great job. And it wasn't that I disliked him at all. It's not that I hate white people.
Yeah,
when I
but
make-
Greg, that Starbucks showed her boobs in triple here in the Vin Diesel movie, the third Vin Diesel movie here from Point.
I think she got killed by Jason
Black.
too.
No, here
In a
Black.
different movie, wasn't she in a Jason movie?
There was this science fiction with Vin Diesel, his first movie.
Pitch Black.
Pitch Black Part 3. There she showed her boobs, and I think that helped also to accept her.
Yeah, it probably did.
Because if the real Starbucks would have showed his boobs there, I really wouldn't care. But thanks to the gender swap, there was really something interesting to see in this movie, at least. Because I can't remember anything of the movie besides this scene, which is directly in the beginning for people if they are interested in seeing more from Starbucks.
I liked her. I liked her portrayal of Starbucks, and I thought Colonel Ty. I can't think of the new actor. But the white guy did a great job. So when I make the argument that I didn't like them changing Colonel Ty from a black man to a white man, it isn't that I didn't like the actor. I did. It isn't that I'm against white people, which I'm not. Which I technically I am a white person. But what I'm saying is when you make an argument like that about a black actress or actor, they make it like, oh, you got to be racist. And it's usually not that. Usually people have actual, legitimate reasons for the things that they say if you listen to them.
Yeah, and also with the new Battlestar Galactica, by the way, it was such a radical change from the original series. Anyway, it was really completely, because I'm not a Battlestar Galactica fan from the original at all. I thought it was kind of goofy. Never saw the TV series.
My God, Jim.
Yeah, but at least I saw one of them in the cinema back then.
Right. It definitely was goofy on a lot of levels, but also not. You know what I mean? You can look at it two different ways. There's a bunch of episodes that are ridiculously
I'm just honest, and that's, by the way, the reason I didn't watch the new version, because I thought it was the goofy show from back then, just in a new version. And I was convinced from people to watch it. They said, "Oh, it's really good," and I thought, "Oh, okay, I give it a shot." And when I watched it, I thought, "Oh my God, this is genius! This is brilliant! This is really good." But because it's so different from the original, because as I said, I wasn't back then. I wasn't. Now I like the original, and I see also now the point of it. And
you've seen the original.
Yes, now I've seen it and I like it, because when you get older, then sometimes you taste changes. And I wasn't aware of how groundbreaking it was, this series, this Battlestar Galactica series, because back then you could compare it to something like Star Trek or Star Wars. And in comparison, of course, this was the weaker one. But back then you thought everything is like that. But nowadays, after 40 years, you see, oh my God, this was all what we got. And so now I see it with completely different eyes.
Yeah, that's well put.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I'm cutting in and out, I think.
Yeah. Maybe it's the hurricane around you. I told you.
Yeah, maybe we've got a lot of crazy weather. It's been raining and raining on us. That's why all these flash floods happened and killed all.
Greg, you have to go to the center of the hurricane. There is very calm there.
No, right? It's called the eye.
Yeah.
I've had a major hurricane go right over my house, where it's the eye of the hurricane, and it blows one way going this way, and then it blows the other way coming back the other way, and it really, when that second part of the eye wall hits, it's massive.
Yeah, and when it takes you together with your house up, then you have to imagine it like in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah,
The trees blow like you wouldn't believe, and the rain comes down. We had in 2017, Houston had a hurricane sit on top of us called Harvey, and it rained trillions of gallons of water and flooded the city, billions of dollars. It was a nightmare. It just sat there for 7 days, raining as hard as you can believe.
Yeah, here, by the way, in Germany, we have also storms last days, also here in my town, and now it's raining outside. But in the news, when you watch the news, they tell you it's the hottest July since the beginning of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, they lie straight up in your face. They're telling you it's so hot, even if I'm freezing right now here in my home, by the way, in July. Yeah, that's not a joke. I closed the windows because it's so cold. But in the news, they tell you it's the hottest July ever. People are dying of heat and things like that. They are lying in your face directly here in Germany.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they need a reason.
I
pay higher taxes for stupid CO2 tax and things like that, and they need a reason for that. So they have to pretend it's so hot.
I wonder if the reason the East German people all voted for a particular party, Freedom Party or whatever you want to call it, is because they lived under the Stasi and they recognize this.
Yes,
I think they recognize it without going into specifics or to get into the whole thing.
Yeah, but not enough. Correct. We have another 4 years or whatever under the Stasi, and it gets worse every day. So they need another 4 years.
Well, they voted in a freaking block against it. So hopefully the rest of Germany wakes their butt up and sees what I'm just saying maybe they were more sensitive to it and they see it for what it is. And I think that's because they lived under that Stasi and all the horrible stuff for the last, good God,
Yeah,
Germany's had some tough times,
but they try to get rid of this alternative party, ban it. Because it gets in the East Germany, it has already it's the strongest party in East Germany, but East Germany are just 6 counties, and West Germany are 9 counties, and so in East Germany there are 20 million people, and in West Germany there are 60 million people, and in East Germany it's already the strongest party, but in West Germany it's the second strongest. And the thing is they try to ban it before the next elections.
Yeah, it's crazy to
No, that's how democracy, to save democracy, they ban the strongest party.
It's anti-democratic. That's not what Texans wouldn't go for that. I can tell you that.
I hope the Germans also don't go over that and don't let them go with it. But I don't know. Germans are stupid. They need another 4 years. You saw it.
We need to ship you some of our Texas Germans over to you.
Yeah.
A few wolves. That'll wake you up. Anyway, I just.
Oh, you are again not can't hear you again. So yeah, now your sound seems to come back.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah, so I would say we go on.
When it cuts out, I think it takes about 10 or 15 seconds and I'll be back.
Yeah, something like that. So I would say let's talk about the last one on the list, at least. 28.
Next one on the list. 28 years later.
Yeah. Could you see it?
I didn't see any of this thing. And I hadn't seen the first one. I don't really watch these stupid zombie movies that everybody loves. They're okay, I guess. I've watched some of the classic ones, but I don't know. You just get tired of watching zombies.
Okay, the first one became kind of famous back then in 2002 or something like that. It became kind of famous because it had fast zombies.
Yeah, the fast zombies. Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
think I saw some of it.
But there weren't zombies. There were infected people.
Infected humans.
Yeah, there were like in crazies. There were just crazy people that act like zombies or something like that. That was the first one, 28 days later. And the most famous scene in that one, which nobody likes to talk about, why this movie was different from other ones, is the supposed rape scene in it. Because the survivors, there were a military group that hid in a fortress or something like that, and then this woman and her daughter, and the one that survived because he was in a hospital and woke up after 28 days, they go there, and this military group had a kind of an anarchic system or whatever. They kind of made a pact that when they had women, that these women had to like because of the survival of humanity and whatever, so these women were kind of their property or whatever, but they could escape, so this rape never happened. But this was kind of the most shocking thing in this movie. And nobody talks about it, by the way, for reasons, because that's the only difference from this zombie movie, because these fast zombies, they were already established in Return of the Living Dead, if you can remember. 1985 or 1984.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, so they were not really something special, but how the movie showed what society becomes really at the end. That this military group in this fortress, there were no women. And so when these two women, this woman and her daughter and this guy came on there, they decided that the women now had that, and also the commander or whatever, commander of this troop, that his men don't revolt or whatever, he wanted to give the women to them, kind of, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, but they didn't actually show anything.
No, they couldn't show anything because they could escape before it came to that.
Well, there you go.
But the thing is, this is also the reason why I don't rewatch it. I didn't rewatch it because I don't like even the pretended rape and things like that. I don't like to see in a movie.
Yeah, I understand.
But the thing is, this was the thing that separated this movie from the other ones, that it really showed what society becomes in a situation like that. That it really goes back to anarchic roots or whatever, the civilization. And I'm really wondering why nobody ever brings that up when he talks about it. Really, it's like I'm the only one who got that from the movie, or I don't know. But yeah. And 78 Weeks Later was just a by the number sequel that played in France. So the first one was Outbreak on the island, on the stupid Brit island, and the second one was Outbreak on the in French, and the third one retconned that, the second one, by the way. So the third one pretends that the outbreak is just in Britain, and so Britain is now isolated from the rest of the world, and it's also the first part of a trilogy or whatever. This third one, and it's boring. And the main character it has a misleading trailer because the main character is not the guy you see in the trailer. It's the boy you see in the trailer, the 12-year-old or whatever. He and his mother, they are kind of the main characters there. Yeah, but I don't want to spoil too much from it because we can't really talk about it. Maybe we talk about it next time when you have seen it, or maybe never, because it's not that important of a movie anyway.
Right.
And it flopped anyway. Also, not sure if the part 2, which comes out in December or January, if it even comes out in cinemas. I'm not sure about that, because part 2 is the continuation of that is from the same fuck up director who already fucked up Candyman, the new one. It's a female director, Nina da Costa or something like that, and I can't stand her because she sucks with her movies. She already fucked up Candyman, and I'm really not looking forward to anything from her. So
yeah, I know who you're talking about. She's terrible.
She's terrible, yeah. And yeah, so there's really not much more to talk about. 28 weeks later, it's it's very boring. It's with shaky cam. They put much effort into the movie that it looks like that it's shot on smartphones. So they put 75 million into the movie that it looks like crap. It's much.
Well, smartphones are, possible to use, I guess, but if you're spending 75 million, that you would think they could do a lot better than that.
Yeah, but they spent all the money that it looks like crap. And so for me, this is a complete waste of money because it has a much higher budget than the other ones. And so, of course, and also it tries to be some kind of art house movie or whatever. And this is not really interesting for most of the people. Most of the people are just bored. They're also not into zombie movies anyway. The mainstream, as a mainstream product, you rarely have a zombie movie that makes 100 million or something like that. So
it's more of a niche.
Yeah, it's more
market.
of a niche market, but to put so much money into it is just stupid. Sorry, not necessary. And also talking about a trilogy when the first one even didn't come out, they also already talked about a trilogy. This is also stupid. Because let's see if the first one does good, then you can talk about a trilogy. Not before you release it and it's a hit or something like that. So this whole thing is just a disaster, just a failure from my point of view.
Well, that's a thumbs down from Cub, and I didn't see it.
Yeah,
and we don't know what Kat would have said. Meow, we miss you, Kat.
yeah, she didn't show up. Maybe it was her last life. It was her 9th life, and we didn't get that.
She's been having problems all day with that technology, and that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, so next on the list is your Star Wars one.
Really? Which one?
Andor.
Oh, you mean that one? Yeah, for me, this is not Star Wars, as you know. I can't stand Andor. I hate it.
So I didn't make it past the first episode. And first episode, he goes and steals a TIE fighter, and then he bangs his way around. It kind of made me laugh because you know how I've told you I'm like a World War I pilot who gets into a UFO. Right? And that's how I get. I was just not that it was a great scene, but it kind of reflects. And then he shoots a big hole in the wall and flies through it.
Yeah,
That's basically how I handle technology. And then later he gets captured by, I don't know who they were because I didn't get past any of that. It kept cutting in and out and in and out. Ah.
yeah, and yeah, okay. So the first 6 episodes of this season, the second season, are completely crap, and the last 6 are kind of okay, because then you see this rebellion on this planet where they need the mineral for the Death Star.
So it is
And
12 episodes?
yeah, it's 12 episodes where the first 6 are complete boring, unnecessary, stretched out
It was
crap.
boring. The only fun part was him banging his way around in a TIE fighter, which was kind of stupid, but you know.
Yeah, in episode 3 you get a rape scene, or attempted rape scene where
Oh, there was like a chick flashing back to something. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was.
Because I saw part of that on the episode 1.
Yeah, it was a completely unnecessary, because they call themselves Star Wars, but this has nothing to do with Star Wars. Seen like that, even if it's in context and oh yeah, this is darker Star Wars for adults, whatever. No, I would say to people who do that, I'd say to them, fuck you, because that's not Star Wars. Sorry, there's no excuse for that. You can't in a show that it's supposed to be for children or whatever, because it has the stupid Star Wars label on it. Things like gay shit and attempted rape and things like that, they don't have to be in shows, in a Star Wars show. Sorry, this is not what Star Wars is about.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Yeah, so fuck Andor. I hate it. I hate it already. I also hate Rogue One. I can't stand this stupid movie. Andor is nothing, just built up to Rogue One. So stupid thing building up to another stupid thing. I'm not a fan, and yeah, so much for that, I would say.
Some of the cinematography looked okay, but
which
acting,
it was,
the acting was kind of boring. It's like Cub was saying, just from what I did see of it, you could just tell what they were going to do. Just going to go on and on with these rich people supposedly on another planet talking to each other, and not much happening at all. Dialogue, the bandits or raiders or whatever they weren't very believable at all in their acting and their over-the-top performances and the writing, and I don't know. It just overall.
The thing is, why can't they just make a science fiction series? Why do they have to call it Star Wars? That's what pisses me.
Well, if you want to have like realistic rapes and that stuff, then go ahead, make your series. I'm not saying I'm not an artistic prude. I might not want to watch it, but who knows? I might. But you like Cub saying, make it your own thing. Write your own new story. We need more new stories anyway. Let's not just keep trying to repackage the old and force it down people's throats. We're sick of that.
Yeah, and also spending 650 millions on something like that, on a prequel to a prequel, on a Star Wars prequel to a Star Wars prequel, where all people,
even a very popular prequel, just an okay prequel gets huge.
Yeah, this is just stupid. This is just burning money. You could make a complete new franchise with that. Yeah. Make a new science fiction series or whatever, and
make
call
a good one. Make something people like.
Yeah,
use
call
a
it
blueprint like the hero's journey, and just try. They don't do that. They don't want to. They want to subvert the artistic community's expectations.
Yeah,
And so,
call it death and rape in space or something like that. And with gay stuff in it and things like that. Yeah, okay, make an adult.
yeah, weirdly, they don't want to play to their audience. They want to play to the other
Yeah.
audience and then trick them when they come in, and it's not working as much. Disney Plus
Yeah.
is failing. You
Yeah,
know,
and
I don't think they're going to be able to keep doing this, Cub.
Greg, one episode focused again on a gay couple here in Andor. Two women where they showed their relationship and things like that. And as I said, this is not things you can put into a Star Wars show when Star Wars is kind of a family brand. It's not an adult brand or something like that.
I understand what you're saying. I don't know if I agree completely or not. You're gonna have some of these lesbian couples and other stuff, but what I think is it takes away from. It's supposed to be a long time ago and far, far away. It's not supposed to reflect all the modern political stuff, all the modern societal stuff. It doesn't have to reflect that. I don't think it should reflect that. I think it's supposed to be divorced from our politics. So, and I would put this under the category of politics. And so for me, Cub has a good point, and I can agree with it. And it does fail on that metric.
Yeah,
but
Greg,
also
the thing is, Greg, the thing is, I don't have children, but if I would have children, I ask myself always when I see something like that, I ask myself, if I would have children, would I show them Star Wars? And the answer is no, I can't, because I don't want to show them gay stuff. I don't want to show them attempted rape and things like that. That's not suitable for children. Sorry, at least from my point of view. That's my whole point. Agree. And that pisses me off. And I think many parents are pissed off when franchises are abused for that. When franchises that
like
clearly,
what you're saying, Star Wars is one that parents felt they could trust, and they violated that trust by doing things like this. Would you think that's a fair way of saying it?
Yeah, and the same goes for clearly children stuff, like how to train your dragon, or Lilo and Stitch,
or this new
other things.
Elio thing that supposedly was going to have him be gay or something.
Yeah, Elio. Oh, yeah, that's another one that I forgot. That's the one that I forgot on the list also. Elio. Could you see that, by the way?
No, I saw a little bit of it, but
I watched it, and I can tell a little bit about it. What you don't hear in other reviews for reasons I don't know, because most of the people are ranting on it. That rightly so. But one of the biggest points why this thing sucks, they don't even mention. And this is the fact that it is a rip-off of Galaxy Quest.
Oh, and really?
No review has brought that up. No, has mentioned that. They completely, because it's so awful on every level, that the most obvious thing in it, that it is just a shameless rip-off of Galaxy Quest, is completely overlooked. They ripped off complete scenes from Galaxy Quest, and you know that Galaxy Quest is one of my all-time favorite. It's my favorite Star Trek movie, of best Star Trek movie of all times. That's how I called it in my review. It's the only movie I watched 2 times in the cinema, because I'm such a huge fan of it. And when you rip it off in another movie, I get that directly. I recognize that directly.
That's something you're going to notice, right? Yeah, I agree. Galaxy Quest was an awesome movie. One of my favorites.
Because you have examples of the same story. You have somebody.
You basically have the original series crew going off into space, but you get to experience them as at a convention and then taken to space. It's a wonderful story, a great idea, and very good
and
execution.
Elio, you have somebody from Earth, Elio, who is abducted from aliens and who confuse him as the leader of Earth, and so he has to lead negotiations with a race that looks like crabs, like in Galaxy Quest, that wants that if these negotiations go wrong, they take over the other races because this union, it's called community or something like that, communiverse it's called. They're all they're all made up from betas, from people not a fighting race, and this is a fighting race. It's like the Klingons or something like that. And so you have kind of a similar plot like Galaxy Quest, where people from Earth get confused for something they aren't. For leaders who can lead a battle or something like that, that they clearly can't because they are just actors. And in Ilio's case, it's also he's just a kid. But these communiverse, they're so stupid that they don't recognize that this is just a stupid kid. And now we even got that it's a stupid gay kid also. Probably that's the reason why they wanted them in their gay community, I guess. But yeah, it's horrible. It's crap. And when you have seen it, maybe we can talk about it sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a deal.
Yeah. You have even the scene in there from Galaxy Quest when they come back to Earth. Then the Star Trekkies on Earth.
You definitely got me interested in it. So the Elio movie is a remake of Galaxy Quest?
No, it's not a remake of Galaxy Quest. It just shamelessly steals scenes and plot points from Galaxy Quest. Because there's also a scene in there. Okay, you can remember in Galaxy Quest when the spaceship comes to Earth, they need the Trekkies to help them. And so the Trekkies, also when they take over the spaceship, they need them that they tell them where the traps are and things like that. And so the Trekkies on Earth, they build stick together with the internet, and so they can help them. Can you remember the scenes that I mean in Galaxy Quest?
Oh, yeah.
And they have the same thing with Elio. Because Elio also comes with a spaceship on Earth, and but thanks to like a smartphone device or whatever, he can talk to people on Earth who then connect with each other to the internet and come up helping them landing the spaceship. So you have so
almost
much.
Like one of the old, like one of the old airplane movies.
Yeah,
they had to get talked into landing the jumbo jet.
Yeah, but as I said, there are so many scenes directly from Galaxy Quest, and I thought, oh my God, why is nobody talking about that? Why everybody's ranting on Elio for all the right reasons, but this thing nobody brings up. I thought where the story where they have the inspiration for the story.
I didn't even see any reviews on it. I just heard people talking about it a little bit in the chats, and then I saw some of it. But you know how it is when your technology's glitching on you.
Yeah, but so much for Elio. As I said, maybe we can talk in the future sometimes about it.
Okay, the next one on the list is Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah, season 4.
Season 4.
So,
wonder if Kat got a chance to see it. I miss her. We probably should have come to this part earlier, but I did get a chance to see it, and no, it's so sad. She worked so hard watching the stuff, and then her phone goes out. You know how it goes. So
Yeah, because she didn't have a German phone. Because
Yeah.
German phones, they don't go, as you
And
know.
Bazzil watched all this stuff, and then he doesn't get to come on either because he's got to work. So there
Yeah.
you go. But
Yeah,
anyway, Love, Death, and Robots. I thought it was pretty good. It's been pretty good about every year.
also
Um,
season 4. I thought season 4 was woke as hell, and also
what the bomber scene? I didn't see all of them. You know, there's like 10 episodes, and I saw maybe 6 of them because some of them kept glitching out. But I
yeah,
think
but you had girl bosses in there again. You had the white guys as the bad guys and things like that,
well, that's
all over the place the whole time. And also the
okay.
portray
So the
of
first one I saw was the tiny battle. You know, on the planet where the alien lands and he comes out and the cops shoot him, and then it goes back and forth. The aliens attack.
shooting at the dicks.
Okay, so that one was pretty good. It ended up with escalating all the way to where the humans turned on like a black hole and sucked out that part of the galaxy. That wasn't woke. That was funny, right?
Yeah, but did you get that they constantly got shot in the dick?
Oh no, I didn't see that. I thought it meant because of cops or something.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
the cops, you know how trigger happy the cops are, right?
Yeah,
He's
but the
got a
thing
gun.
is,
That's the thing.
but Greg, the thing is, the whole season had also an anti-male agenda. Also,
I
that's
didn't see every show. The ones I saw, you know, about half of them were pretty good. I can't even remember them all now. But let's see. Okay, the bomber one where they're in the World War II bomber and they fight one of the demons. That wasn't
y-
woke. That was, you know, right. They used the cross to fight it and
but yeah,
machine gun.
but
It
please,
what you
please,
know? Didn't that? I think
the diverse main character, of course,
yeah, you're right.
le-
There was a black guy in a bomber, which was
in a
yeah.
World War
It's
II
I know
bomber.
that's another thing. Yeah,
And he was also the only smart guy, and
and
the
he
white
wouldn't have
and
been
the
in there.
yeah, but and the white and he was also so much superior than the others, than the white ones. Didn't you
No, he
recognize that?
wasn't. He was denying it, and the thing was real, and his stupidity was getting people killed. It was
Yeah.
everybody around him who saved him, and I think well, I think part of me liked it because one of my favorite movies of all time is Heavy Metal,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
And
it was a
they had
shameless
but
rip
I
off
was like, oh
of
my
that
god!
one. Yeah,
After all these years, I've got another freaking bomber scene, right? An
yeah,
animated bomber scene, and this time you got a demon attacking them. I thought that was
yeah,
fairly cool.
yeah. But as I
And
said,
you're right though. If the black guy, I did notice it as soon as I saw it.
yeah, and but I noticed that these elements, I noticed them through the whole season. These you have some elements, this anti male agenda, this
You could very well be. I
girl
did.
boss agenda, this inserting diversity everywhere agenda, also
I
portraying
know one of the
white
episodes.
people stupid or as villains. Also, this theme you had in there in this season.
Okay, well, that's a common set of themes that really, gets to me as well. But I
We,
didn't see every episode, and I didn't notice it. Really, I did notice, like you were saying, how they race swapped out somebody who a black guy would never have been on that bomber.
here
So,
I
so
can
if that bothers you, then it's going to ruin the thing for you. And if you're seeing a pattern of it, it's going to ruin the whole freaking
yeah,
season for you.
okay. Let's talk about the
I understand.
episode.
I understand what
Greg,
you're saying.
I can tell you which episode pisses me off the most of
Okay.
all of them. And that was the one with the cat. Because you had many cats this time.
Okay, that's right. We got at least 2 cat ones. Okay, we got
yeah.
let me
So
think. We got the one who's going to take over the world and he gets with the robot. What
Yeah.
is that how all the robots got together and killed us? Was that the prequel for that?
Yeah, probably. But the thing is,
wait
wait a second. In this
I
cat
forgot.
one, which pissed me off the most, this one where this cat wants to take over the world with robots.
Oh, yeah. And they got
This
his
one
fat,
pissed me off the
owner.
most. Why? Who was the owner of this cat?
Oh, fat white
The
people.
fat, white, stupid people.
Yes,
They
very.
were portrayed despicable, and I think for a reason.
And
I
they were
don't.
murdered at the end.
Yeah,
In a terrible
they were
way.
murdered. Yeah, they were murdered, and
They were burned to death.
And what pissed me off is the fact they would never made them black or diverse or something like that. Because
No,
they were
that's
so
one part. That's one time you're not going to get diversity.
yes, and this is a thing that pissed me off. I thought, okay, then go all the way. Then use your stupid diversity
I see what you
every
mean.
episode.
I see what
But
you mean.
no, of course, they were so stupid and unlikable, so it had to be white people. And yes, no, sorry. I was
Why it
completely,
irritated you?
yeah.
But
completely.
what was the other cat episode? I can't remember.
That was the one where the cat saved the writer.
Oh,
from,
yeah,
from
he's the cat.
Satan.
He's
Yeah.
saving the writer and battling Satan. Well, that was pretty good, right? We
I
had
don't
we
know.
had we
What
had
what was the point of that episode?
I don't know. We had two of them. It was the cats. The cats are protecting people from being wiped out by Satan, and they're not all sitting around doing what you.
Yeah,
think
but
they're
there
doing.
was another white person portrayed as weak in this one. The writer.
Yeah. They really you're right. The writer or whatever. It was only his cat that saved him.
Yeah. So I what I'm saying is, when you take the episodes alone for themselves, then you can argue like I'm arguing with Jess the whole time. Oh yeah, it's just a story. It doesn't matter. The color doesn't matter, and so on. Or if it's a man or woman or whatever. But when you see it as a whole, at the whole season, then you get exactly this message. You get white
Oh,
people.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, but
Yeah.
I look, Cub. I don't have a million years to live. I'm gonna enjoy what I can. Cub forces me to watch this stuff, and so I go in, and if I can enjoy something, I do. I just give you my basic opinion. But you're right. If I had let that get to me, it would have ruined it for me. But and normally it would, right? But in this case, maybe because they were battling the devil on the plane, and then they were battling him again, and you don't see that often. That the cross, it reminded me a little bit of Kolchak, He's just using that little cross.
Yeah, and also the Dick theme in this season, what I mentioned. Why did I mention that in the Alien episode that you say was the first episode, which it wasn't? It was the second episode. There were again dicks involved because the people, the aliens or whatever, were constantly shot in the dick, and also you had.
I didn't see that one.
But the first episode was this Red Hot Chili Peppers song, where they appeared on stage naked with only socks on their dicks. Can't you remember this music video? That was the first episode of Love, Death, and Robots. Correct? Oh, his audio again disappeared.
I think I'm back. No, I didn't see the first one. I told you I missed like 4 of them.
Yeah, and Greg, the thing is that you haven't seen the first one.
But I definitely see the elements you're discussing.
Because when I mentioned the dick shooting in the second one, the thing is I recognized that in the first one you had this stage appearance from Red Hot Chili Peppers in puppet form, but it was the appearance where they were on stage naked and their dicks were covered with socks. It's a very
definitely didn't see any of that.
It's a very famous appearance of that in real life, by the way. And they
I don't
really
know about any of
Yeah, but I can remember that from back then when they became famous for that. That they appeared naked on stage, performed this song naked with only socks on their dicks.
Wow.
So that was the first episode. And then in the second episode, you had again something dick related. And then that's why I got the theme. Why I thought, oh my God, again dicks? Why? Why is this about dicks or what? If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you. By the third episode, you're probably starting to get pissed.
Yeah. And the thing is, and these themes, as I said, these themes are permanent in this season 4. And they are so I couldn't stand them that I say this is the last time I watch this crap. Never watch anything of this stupid series again, because
Really?
I was just, yeah, as I said, because the last season pissed me off already with their woke themes.
I can't even remember it. I don't know if I saw it.
Yeah, it had some good episodes, but it had half of them were good and half of them were crap.
I'll have
in
to
the
go back
last
and look
season.
at them and see.
We talked about it even here on our stream.
Yeah,
by the way.
I just can't remember.
Yeah, but this time they have, for me, they were just awful episodes. All of them were only agenda driven, and so they can fuck off. Don't waste my time with crap, with this crap anymore.
Well, I enjoyed a few of them, but I can't defend the elements Cub is describing. I just found a way to enjoy parts of them anyway. The bomber theme reminded me of the old heavy metal bomber scene, so which wasn't perfect either, but kind of cool. I was like, okay, I appreciated it, but so I'm gonna have to give it like a partial thumbs up, at least on some of them. Yeah,
from me, 2 thumbs down from me. So no, a thumb in the ass from me, where it really belongs for this episode, for this season.
Okay. So we have another one. It's we got a chance that it's one that Cub might like. Do you know which one it is, Cub?
Squid Game?
Nope. Close. So Resident Alien season 4. First 4 episodes are out. Did you get a chance to see them, Cub?
Yes, and I forgot to put them on the list for reasons. Here in the description, it's not on the list. But yeah, but I've seen it, and
well, it's on my list.
Yeah, and again, these woke elements.
We start out. No, let's talk about it. The first episode, we start out finding out that a giant praying mantis who can change shape, so a shapeshifter, has swapped places with the doctor. We'll just call him that. And so, and the doctor is locked up on the moon, and he has to talk his guard into letting him out. He makes his escape. He comes back, but he's lost his powers. He can't change into alien, right?
He became human.
Well, because the alien supposedly took his energy, is their explanation.
Yeah.
Which he can get back, but at any rate, he comes back on Earth. The praying mantis creature is eating people. The sheriff now is convinced that aliens do exist, so you got that subplot working.
Yeah.
In the last episode, he even tells his FBI girlfriend about it because she's there to investigate these deaths. The mantis is eating people's heads all over town.
Yeah. Yeah, but Greg, the thing is, I'm not enjoying this series anymore at all. I think the woke elements in it have taken over. It's really not. You can't enjoy it anymore. And but what do you think? Did you enjoy these 4 episodes, or did you see any problems with them?
Well, let me think. I thought the woke elements were less than like last year. When they went woke. was it last year or the year
Greg,
before?
let's
Where they had
we
all
have
the women getting together and going to the.
yeah, but we have to define
I
what
think
are woke elements.
I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to think about it. Anyway, let's see. So I thought that bothered me a couple of years ago or last year. Remember, all the women got together and they were, griping about equal pay, and they wasted like 2 episodes on some ridiculous woke stuff that was just total nonsense and didn't even have any story to it. And nothing was happening other than that. So, and that's when their ratings fell, if you noticed. And then they cut the number of seats, shows they were going to have, and they backed off the woke stuff. This year, judging the first 4 episodes, there's nothing like that.
Oh yes, there is much like that, and
Well, not
and
not where
I
you have
can
like
I
it
can
just destroys the
I
episode.
can
But
I'm just
point out
asking.
point
No,
out
wait
where
a second. A woke element, for example, is to show that women are superior than men, and that men are stupid, and especially white men are, of course, the most stupid of them all. And so, tell me how our main character gets into the cell.
Oh, the stupidest way ever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. He tricked him with a pizza. It wasn't even a real pizza. He just made it
Okay.
an illusionary pizza. It was so stupid.
Okay.
yeah,
And now tell
I
me.
don't see him as a white
Wait
male.
a sec. Wait
I
a
see him as
sec.
a stupid alien.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I give him a pass on that because he's not really a white male.
Good. Okay. Okay. I give you that. He's an alien. He's not neither white nor black nor whatever. He's a stupid alien. Okay. Let's say he's a stupid alien. But on screen, he appears as a white male.
Right.
But that's what people see with their eyes when they watch the show.
So I understand your point.
Okay. But now we have another white male who's also an alien, but who is in love for reasons with the main female character.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Who gets his arm chopped off?
Yeah, who gets the arm chopped up and completely chopped up.
But didn't he play a deputy last year?
Yeah, and the thing is, he represents the woke element of showing white males weak or not,
and simping, totally simping for this woman. You're right about that. You this is the second thing for me. I was totally happy.
Yeah.
And I talked to you, and then I'm sad.
And now I'm opening your eyes for this woke shit.
I was just so happy.
Yeah, and okay, wait a second. The mantis, the big danger in this season at the beginning. How gets the problem with the mantis solved?
His girlfriend eats it.
His girlfriend just eats it. All the men in the whole, all the men that are there, they are not able to solve the problem. The only one that can solve it is, of course, his girlfriend that just eats it. And
let's see. The black sheriff saw the menace, and he could have pulled out his gun and shot it, but he didn't. So
he did.
You know why? He saw it because he's black. He did nothing because he's male. But to be fair, the girl who wants to see the monsters and UFOs, she was off taking a pee. So, I mean, that was a little funny. I mean, it kind of like Mulder and
talking about showing white males weak. We have another character there who lives in a cave, who is just a head on a robot body or something like that.
He's our UFO hunter.
And who needs the women to care for him and things like that. And he's supposed to be a fighter. He's supposed to be a killer machine or whatever.
Well, he can't very well go out and buy groceries.
Yeah, no, but
killer machine or not, So
the thing is, and let's talk about the mayor. The most subversive, submissive character of them all, who has zero spine and constantly gets from every woman told what to do and how to act and things like that. what's with this character?
Oh, you're right about that. When you analyze it, you can point out stuff that
No,
makes it look
I make it
bad.
easier, Greg. I make it easier for you to convince me that I'm wrong. Tell me just one character, white male character, that you can look up to in this TV series.
Now, let's see.
That is not a woke, gay, or a submissive, or whatever. That is kind of just.
I think the girl's Indian dad who shows up. I don't think we've seen him in a couple of years, but remember him from like season 1 or whatever. He seemed like he was a good guy. He gave good advice. He wasn't white, but he was male, and he was Native American, whatever the proper term is.
Barely seen in this season.
No, we hadn't seen him a bit.
Yeah.
No,
I wouldn't mind that if he would be, but
I'm just saying he seemed like a good character. It didn't matter to me that he wasn't white. He's, Native American is fine. I like the black sheriff. I like the little interplay between him and his deputy sheriff. He's kind of funny.
Yeah, but I don't like portraying all men in general, portraying them as stupid, as incompetent, as weak.
No, I don't either. I think it's a terrible thing that they do.
I'm sick of that. I'm
sick of it too.
I
understand why it bothers you so much.
Yeah, because at least the main character, who was in form of a white guy, a white male guy, he was an asshole, but he wasn't weak or something like that. He was, and so it was something you could enjoy when he still had his alien powers. But now he's also just a weak character and constantly afraid of the women, and they have to tell him what to do and things like that.
It's like real life, huh?
Yeah, and really sorry. This is for me not enjoyable at all. And also, what is with the kid characters? We have exactly the same thing. The only smart one is the girl, of course. The boys acting stupid and weak and whatever. Sorry.
Now, you're right about that. I noticed that with the kids.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get it sounds like you're not going to give it a thumbs up.
No, but I'm going to watch it to the end. I'm going to finish it.
All right.
Just that we can talk about it, and just that I maybe can be proven wrong. Maybe at the end, in the second half of the season, maybe it gets better or gets back on track, or at least less woke. What I want to say, because
at least he didn't destroy his home planet. They really made him into kind of a dick for even trying to do that.
Yeah, but if he would have destroyed
it was the woman who talked him out of that. So
yeah,
basically, the women have saved his entire race already.
Yeah, already. Yeah. So
that's a pretty good day if you can save a whole race of aliens. I guess.
Yeah, and also don't forget the women are gay. Also, don't want to forget that. So yeah, no, sorry.
They're not all gay, are they?
They're not all gay, but the main two women are gay.
Are they?
They're gay for. They even lie in the same bed. They have a relationship. They have a relationship, and they had a relationship, but now.
I just figured
one of them betrayed the other by sleeping with the alien, and the other one is constantly hinting on that. Here you have slept with a man or whatever.
I don't know. I didn't pick up on that. I'm not as I don't have the great radar you do.
The two women that steal the baby.
I saw them in bed together, but it didn't look like they were having sex.
The two women that steal the baby. Right? Is not one woman upset on her girlfriend because she has slept with, when she finds out that she has slept with the alien?
She is. I don't remember.
She's upset for her. For what? If they are not a couple, or if they are not have.
No, they're old friends, and friends get upset with each other for all kinds
Yeah,
of
but a friend doesn't get
Especially
upset with another friend when another friend has a
they really
normal
do. Girls,
relationship with a guy, but when she's gay for her, of course, then it's a kind of betrayal, and then it makes sense that she gets upset. If a friend of mine has a relationship with a woman, why would I be constantly telling him, oh, and you were with her together, and he would looking at me like he has done something that is not cool. It just makes sense if we were gay for each other. Then it would make sense.
Yeah,
But,
when you say it like that, I guess so. But I just took it as a regular friendship.
yeah, correct.
I haven't seen
I have
any
the feeling
firm
with
evidence.
you that you sometimes you don't want to see this woke crap in there.
Apparently not.
But it's like with love.
I didn't really notice it until you pointed it out. I'm serious. I just thought they were friends. You know, you've had friends where I thought they were poor and they both slept in the same bed. They've known each other forever.
Yeah. Oh, Greg. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't automatically assume this sexual stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too naive.
Yeah, I don't know. Just that's a thing that I can't really enjoy it. With these
You're letting
there.
all this stuff get to you. You know, you need to like maybe mellow out, have a gummy or something. You're near Norway. That's a long walk, though.
But you are forgetting I'm reviewing stuff on my channel. It's so I watch everything with review eyes, of course.
That's true.
I try to analyze it, and it's not interesting for people to listen to. I'm saying regular guys talking about movies or whatever. Of course, they want to know a little bit more in depth about these things, and so they listen to people who analyze it and not just talk about it. And so yes,
you know, to be fair, you used to talk to Adam about movies, and he didn't even watch the movies at all.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. So the thing is, that's what's kind of the last thing, I guess, on the list. Or now comes Squid Game.
I wasn't able. You just dropped Squid Games in there.
Because they dropped it in the last minute.
I know, but I didn't have a chance to see it. I was still trying to watch all this stuff, and my site that I watch it on was glitching, so I couldn't get through the stuff. And you know, I'm trying to watch stupid stuff like Andor, which I shouldn't have bothered so much with. It's like 12 freaking hours, and I'm trying to watch it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you watch only one episode from.
I haven't seen season 2 of Squid Games yet. We never covered that. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
and season 2 and 3 are kind of the same season because they're the same game.
Okay, so maybe we'll put this off for another time. And come back to it. We also have Doctor Who season 4, but we don't have Bazzil or Kat or Jez or anybody here. You want to save that and maybe add that in with the next one, 4 and 5 or something?
No, I would say next time we talk about season 5, and just because season 4 there is really not so much to talk about because most of the episodes were lost. That's true. They were just replicated. But we can talk at least about the most important ones, I would say, the Dalek ones, of course. First off, in this season, we get the new Doctor.
Yeah, so this is our first, what is it, episode 2 that we have the first, what do they call it, regeneration?
Yeah, we have the first regeneration in
do you know any backstory on that? The reason why they did it in mid-season, or why was he just getting too old, or
probably because for backstory we need Jess. For the backstory
we'll have to ask
thing.
him about that. Remind me to ask him one of these days.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him next Wednesday, maybe when we have a stream. Then I'm going to ask him. So the power of the Daleks is the third episode where we have the first time the new doctor, which is Patrick Thornton is his name, and it has the most. His appearance has the most missing episodes. They're all kind of missing for reasons, and you have a Daleks episode. Have you seen it, by the way?
I've seen part of it. I hadn't finished it.
Yeah, and there was there's adventures with Daleks, but also adventures with the Cybermen, the Moonbase episode, and also the last episode was the last one was also a Dalek episode, Evil of the Daleks, where the Daleks again try to take over Earth with but this time with time travel. It's kind of a period piece also. It plays in the 19th century. And I'm not a fan of these period piece.
Yeah, is that the Scottish one?
It's yes, I think so. It's called the Evil of.
Is that
the
where
Daleks.
they picked up that Jamie character?
Yeah, I think there he.
I think that's their last historical one. I was listening to something on it, but I agree. I thought their historical ones were some of the weakest episodes.
Yeah, I really don't like them. I'm really more like the science fiction ones.
Yeah,
and the monster ones, of course. So yeah, I watched through the whole season, as I said, and I liked most of the episodes, but most of them were missing. So what I had to watch were stills and replications, animations, and things like that the whole time. So yeah, but overall, the stories themselves were really good. Much more entertaining than most of the ones before, and I wished there were more there, not so much replicated and stills and things like that. I would really have liked to see them.
It did seem like the stories are better. Do you think the actor, the new actor, do you think he had any part in it? Do you think he talked to the writers, or do you think they wrote it differently because they had a different, a younger guy playing the role? You think the change in actors had anything to do with the increased quality of the storytelling?
No, maybe. I think I like him as a doctor. I think he's a good replacement for the first Doctor, and also but for me, he still acts sometimes too human. Still, that's the only complaint I have.
I think for me, it was an upgrade in that the first one, it was almost like a British family in space, like Lost in Space or something. But you had this old grandfather, and then you had the granddaughter, and then the mom and dad. Is how it came across. That's not what it was supposed to be. And this Doctor was the first time you had like an actual. He's still too human. You're right, but an actual person who felt more like a Time Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there were many scenes in it where he really acted like the Time Lord, where you got the feeling here's a powerful being. It's not just a regular guy or whatever. He is really he knows things that not anybody knows, and also how he acted with some situations.
He's more physical as well.
Yeah. He's also more physical. That's right. And also how he solved some of the problems and things like that. And especially in the last episode where no, not in the last episode, in the what was it? The Makra one. The Makra terror. The Makra terror was a 1984 episode with Big Brother. Could you watch that?
No, I didn't see that one yet. But I'm gonna watch. This is one subject that I'm gonna keep going back and watching this stuff. So if it comes up again, which I'm sure it will, we can always refer back to our previous discussion on like season 4.
Yeah, but this is really something I
So
want to
what should I be
mention.
looking for? You're saying there's a 1984 Big Brother type thing called the Makra.
Yes, yeah.
in
The
season-
Makra terror is episode 7.
and it's set in Germany, I assume.
No, it's set on a.
Sorry. That
It's
was a
set.
joke about our earlier discussion.
I think it's set on Earth in the future, or it's set on a planet that is colonized by humans. But in this society, people are under influence of an alien race that hides themselves using hypnosis, and also using the picture of a leader, which they just call the leader, but it's the same picture like Big Brother.
Oh wow!
Here from 1984, and you are not supposed to question the authorities, and not supposed to question anything the leader says. And but there are some in this society who can see through that, and who even see the crab people, the crab race that is pulling the strings.
Almost like those sunglasses and They Live.
Not
Not
actually. They just really just hide, and also they poison the whole colony with poisonous gas that they are easy, and also they get messages in their sleep. They are constantly getting
subliminal projection type thing.
Yeah, they get hypnotized by constantly hearing you have to do what the leader says and things like that. So it's a completely 1984 episode, which I really like. I really thought, oh my god, yeah. Probably this one they won't air today, since Great Britain turned into 1984, as you know.
Yeah, right.
So probably this episode, I could see that they would never air today.
Oh no, you mean the new woke version? Isn't that weird that supposedly liberals aren't liberal? They're like the like we were saying earlier, the German police of the past. So, or even the present. It's crazy. I don't know. One thing, I was watching one of the early generations of the Daleks. I'm not sure if season 4 or whatever, and they showed the very first one. They went back and it was almost like what is a? Have you seen the Richard III when they're in England? That yeah, it's like that type of society, but and that's the type of society that ended up creating the Dalek. Which is yeah. So it's kind of like. Well, you're talking about the 1984 references. It's a similar society to that.
Yeah,
in their dress and mannerisms, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, as I said, this season, the whole season is okay. Most of the episodes I liked. The only ones that I would say what's not really my cup of tea was the Highlanders. This this period piece, whatever. Can't stand those episodes, but the other ones I really liked, and highly recommend watching them.
The Brits, when they set stuff in Scotland, they rarely do a good episode of anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they have, at least when we're talking about the past. I have no idea what British TV is like today, but when we're talking about something like this or one of their other ones from back then, and whenever they write the Scottish, and or even when we're watching this Scottish guy, in later episodes of Doctor Who, I've seen him, and it always seems like he says something stupid, or they write him to be, overly this, or it's just poor writing, I think, on trying to portray Scots for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's really evident in that episode you're talking about, the historical Scottish one.
Yeah, I really could stand that. Especially the last 4 episodes are really good, I would say, and they have all a theme to them. The episode 6, the Moonbase, is a Cyberman episode.
All right.
Where they where the Cyberman try to take over. It plays in the future, where it's on the moon is the the weather control station for Earth in this episode, and this weather control station is for the weather of the whole planet. So this episode is also kind of really actual, because they are talking about modifying the weather today. That
you mean in real life?
In real life, yeah, where people today are talking about that some of the storms and so on and earthquakes are made by the government, and that the government has methods to control the weather. This is an actual discussion, as you know.
Yeah.
And the moon.
I don't know how possible that is. You're saying if they did something like that, they would do it from the moon, or at least in the case of this?
No, the moon base episode is kind of it plays in the future. It plays in 2050 or whatever, and there on the moon there is a base that is controlling the weather on Earth.
Yeah,
officially, not in secret. It's
well known. Okay,
it's well known. It's
like a worldwide project.
Yeah, it's a regular thing. It controls the weather, and the Cybermen try
that could be
take over
a bad use.
Take over the moon base, and with that kind of also take over Earth. And so that's what this episode is about. And the next one, the Macra Terror, as I said, is a 1984 episode. And the next one, the Faceless Ones, is a Body Snatcher episode. It has the plot of Body Snatchers, kind of. They are faceless aliens that are cloning humans, because they themselves their planet or where they live is destroyed, or they can't live there or whatever, and now they want to use human bodies as replacement because their own bodies are disfigured, and so it's kind of a Body Snatchers episode, which is interesting. And yeah, the last one is The Evil of the Daleks, where it is again kind of a period piece, where the Daleks they try to create new Daleks by inserting the human traits in them. And because they figured out that the reason why the humans constantly are defeating them are maybe because the humans have some traits that they are missing in their perfection. And so they create new Daleks who have human elements in them.
Well, that's logical.
Yeah, it's also okay. I also like that one. So yeah, for me, a recommendation for this season. And
So we got a thumbs up. Woo!
Yeah, so I would say next time we talk about season 5.
All right,
And
good.
And so I would say we are through. We have spoken about kind of all things.
We finished it.
We finished. We brought it to the end line.
Right.
We
landed the fish in the boat. Woohoo!
Yeah, with the last two guys standing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of months at the end of August.
Yeah, I would say, wait a second, we can tell people the next one is going to be the last day in August 31.
All right.
So that people know when the next stream is. It's no secret. And we can also tell the people the movies we are talking about next time. Probably there will be Jurassic World Part 4, Superman, I Knew What You Did Last Summer, Fantastic Four, The Naked Gun, Weapons, and Nobody 2. These were...
Nobody was pretty good, the first one. That's cool. Well, at least we got some that might be good.
Yeah, but we get the big ones next time. We're talking about the big ones, and we can talk about how they perform. Like the ones here, as I said, Jurassic Park, Superman, Fantastic Four.
That's coming up too, isn't it? Yeah.
These will be the big ones, and
summer blockbuster time, folks.
Yeah, the summer blockbusters. We are going to talk about them.
You're gonna have to put down your Baywatch videos and watch something else.
Yeah, but I'm going to send you the list in time as usual.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks for being on the stream, Greg.
No problem.
And hopefully next time the other ones will also be around.
Yeah, hopefully. Kat's planning on replacing her phone. That'll probably solve the battery issue. And we'll just have to see if usually Bazzil's off on Sunday, so we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, and I have tomorrow another live stream, the German one.
All right. Woohoo!
Where I'm going to talk about the same movies like today.
All right. Well, we got you sharpened up for it, right?
Yeah, but just in German this time.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, folks. See y'all next time.